and
Walford as McKenna was going past him. Graham Jenkins calls for the big one. And down it comes towards him, and Leach is with him all the way. Jenkins up high and...
next.
You are in for such a treat.
Here we go again, you big kitten.
My heart, Doctor. It palpitates when I'm overawed.
Sounds to me like that's the one that's really a matter of life and death.
If you could do what I could do, then you would do it too.
Get yourself some publicity, Douglas.
That could be dangerous.
I miss your healing hands.
This is a very unusual thing for me.
Be great instead of being ashamed.
It's a funny old thing, love.
Yeah. Some people confuse it with power.
Be there for the intensity.
Oh, yes, we're coming.
Be there for the emotion.
Are you going to kiss me goodnight?
Be there for the drama.
Let's get on with it.
Soon on ABC.
I get scared the same as everyone else.
Inside a police siege.
No doubt Tumit had a significant effect on a lot of people.
I dare say it has shaken a lot of people's faith in the police force.
I came to realise that it was going to be either a police officer's life or Mr. Hallin's life.
I just thought I'd let the boys down.
Australian Story, 8 o'clock Monday.
Spooks is rated M for a mature audience. It contains violence, drug use and adult themes.
You are not acting in the interests of this service.
In this matter, I am the interest of this service.
What is it this time? Spain? Morocco?
You want to reduce Five to some kind of firm of decorators, only to be wheeled out when you want to whitewash.
You're on very dangerous ground, Harry.
I'm even curious to know what it'd be like to actually live together like a real family.
Real family, please. My own son doesn't even know my real name.
My role is no longer operational. I just oversee.
Precisely. Everything goes across your desk.
Harry, we're on the same side.
Bachelor, to receive the honor of knighthood for services to popular music.
This way, Sir Riff!
Riff, Sir Riff. Come a long way since your grunge days. Youngest man to be knighted. Oh, he's still a rocker, really, anyway. What did the Queen say to you, Sir Riff?
She said that her corgis were musically more intelligent than I would ever be. I was really upset.
He's such a lie. She said my grandchildren really love your music.
I know, I said. Here he is, my son and heir. Hey, what's it all about? Alfie, look.
So, Sir Riff, what's next?
Well, I suppose we'll have a bit of a party.
Oh, yes.
Baby. It's okay, we'll call the police.
The police won't get him back.
Horrible experience. Realistic nihilistic is a jewel in the crown of British grunge.
Is it?
15 million copies worldwide.
Beggars believe.
Look, it's distressing about the child being taken, but why does the service have to be involved? Downing Street insists, Harry. And it won't do Five any harm to be seen to be doing something cuddly.
Cuddly.
Find the kidnappers, get the child back in time for the Sunday papers. Then the country might love us too.
Any word from the kidnappers?
Not a squeak. Take it we ignore the drugs we're finding.
I'll keep a note.
I've never handled a kidnapping before.
In this we are all virginal. Abduction procedures. Police kidnap unit's Bible. Read it and speedily digest.
Harry, this is police business. What are we doing here?
Kissing behinds. Dreadful business. Has Malcolm put a tap in?
He's tried. The Knight of the Realm's lady doesn't like it.
The manual says the first stage is to secure the cooperation of the kidnapped victims' close associates or family. What are they like?
I did not agree to that.
I understood. It
Then understand. I don't want a black box bugging my grief.
Kidnappers usually make a ransom demand by phone and quickly. When they do that, we need to record them.
What? Trace the call?
We'll do that. But they'll use a public phone and be far gone by the time we get there. It's the tape that's really vital. That can tell us so many things. Background sounds, accents.
No. I'm not having spies getting off on my private calls.
You use a mobile phone.
We've detected an anti-scanning device in your house. State of the art.
Of course. Did you guess it? Being snooped on the whole time.
We really need to record a call from these bastards.
Oh, okay. Plug it in. So you're the boss spook?
Absolutely.
You know James Bond. Do you want some tea?
Thank you very much.
I can't believe it. God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That means a difficult cow. Just... I want you to get him back. That was why I called Downing Street.
Well, we'll do our best. But this is really police work, you know.
You're secret police. You've got to be better than the other lot. Do you want a drink?
Actually, it's a little early for me. But there are a few questions. This girl who distracted your security guard, any idea who she is?
No, I don't know her.
Miss B, we have to find this girl.
I don't know her. Look, please. Call me B. Miss B's so cold. My real name is Brenda. But when I started modelling, they said they couldn't do anything with a name like Brenda. It was the 90s. My image was everything.
Absolutely.
So what's your name, Mr. Boss Spook?
John.
Find him for me, John. Dying inside.
Why haven't they rung yet?
They will.
How many kidnaps have you handled?
Dozens.
What's all this?
No, I'm working on.
So am I. Write my new album.
How's that going?
Sick thing is, I ain't had a lyric coming to me here for weeks, and then
soon as they told me that Alfie had been snatched, one came straight into my head.
What? A song about him?
Yeah. I thought I'd better write it about a girl, you know. Thought it might be a bit tacky if people knew it was about Alfie. On the phone, leave her alone, send her home. Kidnap her heart, tear me apart, can't take no more. I'm on the floor, can't take the pain no more.
It's great.
That's nice crap.
It's gonna be all right.
Oh, where is he? He must be starving by now.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Will it?
Everything working?
It's all operational.
Yes. What? I got through the scanning device. We can listen to her mobile.
13 hours and 24 minutes since the kid was taken. The book says contact's usually made in the first 6 hours, so we need to stay sharp. I have an informant to see.
I did tell you about that property.
Michelle.
Adam? My salad.
Madam? I'll have the meatballs.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me what you know about Riff and B.
Well, his career's on the slide. The great album was 10 years ago. Since then, it's, you know, tracks with strings, Christmas novelty songs. He's lost his edge. Her modelling career's lasted longer than most. Some say it's bone structure, some say she's a strat shag.
A what?
A strategic shagger.
So why does the nation love him?
Fame and lust. Riff and B are a mass sexual fantasy. The danger for them is that at any moment it could turn into a blood sport.
You can't run this.
Look, I'm your window into Fleet Street. You need my help. Help me in return.
You're in breach of the Official Secrets Act.
Oh, who isn't these days? Anyway, I know all about what's going on. I did an exclusive deal with Riff and B this morning.
What, their baby goes out the window and they're on the phone to some...
Trashy gossip magazine that I edit. Of course. What else do you expect them to do? Look, I'll hold that from the next edition if you talk to me.
Shred the hard copies and delete all the images from your computers.
So MI5 are investigating the kidnapping. Fantastic.
Taking all my love away. Away.
Excuse me. I said, excuse me.
Sorry, Harry. Research.
Brilliant album. Bit of an oldie. Do you mind? This is my youth.
Yes.
Harry, it's John Sylvester. Trying to call in a favour here. Look, you remember I helped you out of that jam when I was in the Foreign Office, that business with the sheikh from the Gulf and the casino?
That was a while ago. John, what's the problem?
If I wasn't a government minister, TV face,
What is it, money or a woman?
I went with the girl in the park.
What park?
Kensington Gardens. We were in a hotel and she said, let's go and do it in a park for fun. It was fun. But all along she knew who I was. She made threats. To tabloids.
So you want me to find her?
She may be in a hospital. I lost control. I hit her. She fell. She hit her head or something. The way she was lying looked strange.
How did you contact her?
The mobile.
Then I think it ought to be destroyed. Don't you? Professionally. You were at Portcullis House. Are we spying on each other now?
Come on, Harry. We both have that place under surveillance. Tracking MPs, mistresses, and drink deliveries. Sylvester, is it money or a woman?
Neither.
Really?
No memory on a chip is ever deleted, not even in a politician's phone.
Tags are left to hidden files.
Digital ghosts. We retrieve these photos from a SIM card on the phone.
Hard copies.
But who is she?
Why is there no progress on the kidnapping of baby Alfie? I've told you to run this personally.
Adam Carter is running it, full stop.
All right. There is another dimension to this. Downing Street are wondering whether, after all, the knighthood was appropriate.
Downing Street had him kneel neath the royal bread knife because an election's coming. Anything for votes. Now they want to what? Unknight him?
It's the wife that's worrying us. I want someone in there undercover to make sure she doesn't do anything stupid.
Not on my budget.
I'm sending an officer over from 6. She'll be brilliant.
She?
Fiona!
Hi. What do you think?
Very purple.
Well, very purple is what Wes wants. Walls, floor and ceiling.
8-year-olds make great interior decorators.
You don't mind then?
Yeah, great.
What did you really text me for?
Oliver Mace has ordered me over to Thames House. I'm to go undercover in your F&B up.
No way.
It's orders.
I'm going straight to Harry.
Adam, I want it. If I come over to 5, I can have a life with you and Wes in this house.
I don't want you working in the field, here or anywhere.
Come on, let's just see how this goes, all right? Is there cocaine here?
Malcolm's got it.
Cocaine?
Yeah, it's bait.
Customs and excise won't potty, but I bent them to my will.
That'll be good stuff. B will know. Malcolm, do you have a substitute for the cocaine? You know, something harmless I can take in case I get myself in a situation?
Section G have concocted this. Harmless, but it'll give you a convincing nasal discharge.
Lovely.
Did you get these from the police?
Of someone in the Greater London Murder Squad. I know an IT girl working as a researcher in the incident room. She wants to get into GCHQ. I've said I'll put a word in for her. So she emailed this to me, without her superiors knowing.
Dear God, Ruth, is any institution in this country safe from you?
I like to think not.
Poor girl. Will we ever know her name? This is the girl Sylvester snapped. He told me they were in Kensington Gardens together.
Break-in entry, Harry.
Her body's in the Kensington mortuary. The police have been unable to identify her. They think she may be an illegal.
I didn't kill her, I swear!
Recognize her? Familiar pose? Not so pretty now, is she?
Dear Prime Minister, I resign. You describe what happened, you sign it. Right. I'll put that in the internal mail for you. And now perhaps you'd like to help the police with their inquiries.
Your letter did not arrive.
You intercepted a letter from me to the PM.
I hope you haven't done anything stupid, like ringing the police.
I must resign.
And you will, but not for the real reason.
I can't get away with the old family chestnut losing my children's child.
You can, if we have a good day to bury bad news. There's this Riff and Bee story running.
Oh, you mean when they find the baby?
You will be buried on the inside pages. Timing is all. I will let you know exactly when.
What about
the girl will be recorded as a possible illegal, found dead. 10 days in the mortuary, then they'll cremate her.
I'll always suffer with my conscience.
All that concerns me is that the government does not fall because of your disgusting little thing. By the new year, we could be at war with Iran. Now, please, pull yourself together.
We're giving you a legend with a French firm, Vita Nuova.
Oh, do I get free makeup?
Well, we'll see what we can do when this is over.
So how come such a big firm lets us use it?
The French Security Services uses them as cover. Free makeup for the wives of foreign ambassadors, girlfriends of UN delegates. It gets the French into lots of places. Harry's called in a favor to let us run you as one of their reps.
Research on Brenda Rawlings, known to us as B.
Anything I can use, or she's sickeningly perfect?
She's had liposuction on her bum.
Really? Thanks.
And the next customer, please. Just been sent over from Vita Nuova's Bond Street shop. You'll have to sign for it. And they would very much like you to give it to B.
She gets all this free.
For a woman like that, everything is free.
Think so.
Here are your drugs. Here's the fake. Ring with a secret compartment. And here is the real stuff. Bolivia's finest. That should impress the knight and his lady.
Why, thank you, kind sir.
Any news about baby?
I'm here to see B. Andrea LaRouche from Vita Nuova Cosmetics.
Sorry, miss. I will have to search you.
Oh, right, okay.
What are you?
From Vita Nuova.
Have you got any idea what is going down in this house?
Vita Nuova. I'm Andrea LaRouche.
Babe, it's okay.
Get out!
Just wait, It's okay. What are you doing?
I'm responsible for your security. Miss, I will have to search your bag.
Ignore him, he's a tosser. Come and have a drink. You? Downstairs.
She's in.
I think my boss left a message. I wasn't sure whether to come. I'm so sorry about what's happening to your family. It's got nothing to do with you, has it? Look, I can come back later if you like. No. Doing business will take my mind off Alfie. How's Henri? Our managing director's in love with you. He's a fag. Saying I'm some kind of gay icon.
No? Are you?
If it sells. Are you cool?
Sure. Got some Bolivian, actually. Special sample.
How am I going to get through today?
You should get some sleep.
I can't, not with a stranger in there.
Well, why not a bed?
I just can't do it.
Why is that?
I'm just not used to it. It's all the touring in the early days. Doing all the small festivals, sleeping on floors. I mean, that's how my world began, you know? Well, if I can't sleep, B's chopping out some lines of Charlie in there, Johnson.
Riff, I know I'm just a security man and everything, but can I say something like a friend?
Yeah.
Stay straight today. You've got to get Alfie back.
Yeah, you're right. I'll just do vodka.
Andrea Lavrouche. You French, then?
Nah. From Bromley.
I'm from Bromley, too. You saying that just to suck up?
I'm a Bromley girl. Went to Haunted Road School.
You're all girls.
What about you?
The Grange.
Ooh, private.
Daddy had shops.
Did you get on?
He died.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Bromley girls.
People I went to school with wouldn't dream of some of the things I get up to these days.
And what do you get up to?
Botox. Everywhere. A lie upon my bum.
You've had that, have you?
I've had my baby.
I'd have that after Alfie. I love him to death, but he wrecked my body. It's not like I can go back to work with a saggy ass. Fought too hard. 10 years ago, I was too short for the shows. It was all supermodels, we were the waifs. Now, one baby in, and I'm moving my bum cheeks. It's tragic.
You want Alfie back? This is what you do. 3 million in a hold-all, non-sequential notes. Do this, or you get little Alfie sent to you in the post.
Contact.
Bit by bit. Put the money in a tan leather bag. Take it to the hole. Put the bag in the cloakroom. Stick the cloakroom ticket behind the pipe of the last toilet in the gents. Do it tonight, and you get little Alfie. Not cut up. Tell the cops if they follow us, he dies.
Do you torture people?
No, we don't.
Well, you should, that bastard.
What's the hole?
It's a club. It's where Riff started. I want to pay them.
That's not how to play it.
What are you talking about? It's my money, it's my kid.
I have to seriously advise you that that's...
How much did he say?
3 million.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. But I can cut off both my arms, you know, stick them in a bag, and if that's going to help get Alfie back. You can't do nothing to stop us.
All right, but I run this all the way.
Excellent man.
Here's the cloakroom.
It's my money. Give back my kid. I'm gonna wait for these bastards.
No, you're not.
I want to see their faces.
Get back in the car. Now. I'm taking you back home.
Sinus is losing it.
Ticket in the loo, bag in the cloakroom. Doesn't make any sense. Kidnappers must know we'll be watching them.
All operational systems at optimum. Over.
Just tell me if you can see the hole in the wall.
Cameras at optimum. Roger and over.
Great. I'll get one of your optimum cameras on the street outside.
Been really sweet and everything, but I should probably go.
No, stay. Overnight if you like. I need someone to be with me for this.
You know my boss.
Your boss will cream his panties if he knows you're staying with me. Be dreaming endorsements.
What if you're sure?
It's nothing. I've decided I like you. I'm good at people. All right?
Yeah, great.
No, you were supposed to stay there.
Sorry, we've got things under control.
Shut up. You're just the hired help. In fact, go away. I'm talking to my husband.
Think he's trying to get our kid back. Are you still here, right?
Maybe I should go.
No, Andrea, stay. You, I need him. I don't.
I'll let you know.
You promised. You promised me you'd stay with the money. You promised.
They've got it covered, all right? Kidnappers are going to ring here, all right?
Where did you put the bag? Where did you put the bag?
Put it where you told me, up against the wall.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't.
Adam, please use call signs.
How's the famous couple?
You don't understand what you're...
Having a marital conversation. Anything happen?
Minor scene in the gents, but nothing.
Wait. We've got a visual. Trackers?
All 6 devices are operational.
He's masked. And this is on camera.
Okay, he's not stupid. All units stay well back and let the trackers do their job.
He's got the bag. I repeat, he's got the bag. Here we go.
He's turning off the road.
Grid reference 195813.
Some sort of scrapyard.
CCTV?
Mapping security systems. I'll access their cameras.
Okay. What's he doing with the bag?
An electromagnet.
All units, intercept at grid reference 195813.
Trackers have stopped working. All of them.
All units, do you have a visual? I repeat, does anyone have a visual?
Negative. Negative.
Damn it, we've lost them.
So you lost them and the money.
They took it to a scrap metal yard, put the bag under a magnet, knocked out the tracking devices.
They seem to know what they're doing and you don't.
Wait. So, well, they've got the money, so we get Alfie back. So that's good, isn't it?
We want to catch these people.
No. If you want to catch them, then that's your gig. We want our kid back.
Look, I apologise, but we've got to move on.
Bullshit.
B, it's all good. B, don't give up. B.
Bathroom.
Put your head back. Put it back.
What do you think?
I think you're playing a dangerous game.
No, I mean what they're up to.
Oh, the kidnaps are fake.
She did it, not him. He's afraid for the kid. She's not at all. The way she's reacting, everything, it's false.
She told him to put the bag against the wall. She knew that's how it was going to be lifted. What's she doing?
She'll have got someone she trusts to snatch Alfie, someone who knows what they're doing. The whole thing, hooks and ropes that have lowered him down in a bag, and then when they get the kid back, the whole nation will rejoice.
All for publicity.
All for fame.
The coke, it's dangerous.
It's the only way I can stay with her, don't worry.
What about the substitute stuff?
She's too sharp. It's all right, I'm taking an antidote.
What antidote?
Valium.
Valium? Look, you've got to stop this.
I can handle it. Back in the field, best team ever, eh? Flash it.
What?
The loo.
Oh, yeah.
Only someone really heavyweight would think of this.
And you really think Bea set this up? Had her own child kidnapped, stole her own money?
Fee thinks so too.
So what, we're all just part of her publicity machine?
Not anymore. I'm pulling Fiona out.
Don't do that.
Everything's changed.
A very shallow grave, dug in a hurry.
It's only a few hundred yards from the house.
The baby's got a head injury, and the pathologist thinks his neck's broken too.
They dropped him? Probably coming out the window.
Dear God.
No, it's not.
What's wrong?
Why is this happening to us?
Is it the money that's wrong?
Where is he? Where is he?
He's at the police mortuary.
No! I want to see my son. I want to see... No, I want to see him! I want to see my son!
We'll arrange
Somebody's got to
that.
help me. You can't go.
I want to see him. I want to see my son. I want to see my
Somebody's got to help me.
We will help you. We want to. Whatever it is you've done.
What do you mean, whatever it is that we've done?
B. Whatever you've done.
What's he talking about? What's he saying?
I'm throwing him out. Him. I want this lying, manipulative piece of filth out of my house.
I think you should consider the seriousness of your predicament.
Don't tell them anything. Get a lawyer.
And you are?
A friend.
Well, friend, don't meddle.
Don't you stand in her house without a warrant.
My officer's tangled up in a sordid, cocaine-fueled fantasy of the sick and rich.
Harry, calm down.
Knock! I want my wife out of that house.
Our masters want this op to succeed.
Fiona's in there without any proper backup. It's running out of control, Harry. Pull her out.
We cannot afford that. Fiona reports that B's dangerously near the edge.
Fiona reports? What, she's reporting to you now?
She's on Six's payroll.
I'm running her!
In heaven's name, stop this!
The nation's awash with emotion over Riff and B's little baby. It must end well, or look to end well.
In the Sunday papers.
Ruth, turn this off.
Keep me informed.
I talked to an old contact. We worked on Italian drug routes.
He recognized the girl who diverted the security guard's attention on the night of the kidnapping.
Her name is Maria Abado, and she's an associate
Of this man, Rudolfino Ponti. He runs a heroin trail. Afghanistan to the Dalmatian coast into Italy.
Any convictions?
It's rumored he's got protection in the Italian government.
You think Riff and B know this Ponti?
He used to be Riff's road manager. He toured with the band.
A dark pit opens. So B arranged for the kidnapping to be staged by her husband's old musical associate for the sake of publicity.
Yes,
Is Ponti wanted?
with lust by 5 European police forces.
Then we have a whole new operation.
You're not going to pull her out?
Finally, we have something meaningful to pursue. We must catch this man. Fiona is a major field asset.
Look.
Knock!
Look.
Knock! What do I have to do, beg?
But look, it's just out and I just got it and we're in it.
Harry, the switchboard says they're getting lots of calls, all about Mega Mag.
Meatballs.
Yes, sir.
Somebody else said it was fine to publish it.
What someone?
Oh, come on, Adam.
Downing Street.
The press office said they thought it showed MI5 in a good light. Makes you look very now.
You rang the Downing Street press office about a security service operation.
They rang me.
She said the Downing Street press office. Thank you, Adam. Downing Street. Strings everywhere today. Nothing on the news about Sylvester's resignation?
No.
Why are they meddling?
Hello?
X-ray Tango Base receiving. Please give call sign. Over. Repeat. X-ray Tango Base receiving. Please give
Fiona,
call sign.
it's Adam. You set up?
I think so. Can you hear this?
Fine. We'll be able to hear you all the way, okay?
Please use the correct procedures. These call signs can save lives.
You okay?
Can I help?
I don't think so. I don't trust you. I don't trust anyone.
Do you want some Coke?
Where did you come from? Heaven.
It's me.
I think we won't record this.
Yeah, and you can wipe the last.
Yeah. Terrible things officers have to do in the field, all for liberty.
Quiet.
Listen, can I tell you something? I want to trust you.
You can have me fired if I let you down.
They were right. It was my fault. I killed my baby.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I didn't mean to go this far.
It's okay. Shh, come on.
It's supposed to be so simple. I'm taken to a house. Who's going to be safe there? They take the money.
You set that up in the club.
300,000. Then they give us back the rest, and I...
They took Alfie out the window.
Oh, what am I going to do?
Don't do anything.
Was that said to us?
Yeah, didn't use a call sign either. Okay, Fiona. Take us to Ponty.
Have you heard from them? Does Riff know about this?
No. I love him, but... he's like... when you blow the inside out of an egg. It's a shell. But the story's all right, isn't it?
The story?
Riff and Bee's baby boy dies during a kidnap and they never find out who did it. That has to be the story. It has to be left like that. Because then the papers print that. And people still love us.
Can you believe what she just said?
Where's he going? Put the team on him.
Team will stood down for the Hounslow thing.
But we got no babysitters.
Budget.
What about Alfie? What about your son?
Other people's pleasures are so boring.
I want to meet you, B.
Why would I want to do that?
Ponty's ringing her.
I want more money.
You killed my son.
Oh, and who's really responsible?
Trace?
No way.
God help us, they'll tell the press.
They won't print it.
The story, it's like a stain, it won't go away. No.
Babe.
Riff.
Listen, Ponty just phoned.
Monty?
Yeah, he says he wants to meet you.
Don't do that.
Oh, I've got to. He says he knows something about Alfie.
All right. Where are you?
Listen, I don't want to do this with them. And they're listening, aren't they?
babe. You gotta give me a clue.
That's the beginning of the world.
Don't you tell him what I did. I've gotta go.
Be where? I'm coming with you.
Beginning of the world, where's that?
God knows, but she's going with her, with no backup. And in this thing, we will never keep up with her.
Ponty. Hello, mate.
He's not here.
B? No, she's gone away. So, you know something about Alfie?
You don't know?
Kind of what?
Red 10 to Tango X-ray base. I'm in the whole club. Acknowledge.
B?
Acknowledge.
Who's this?
Friend.
A friend? I don't want her here. I've come to talk business.
Tough. She goes, I go. Babe. Do you want to go? There's nothing for you here. Please.
She didn't tell you. Perfidious wives. It was an accident, Reef. On my heart. Had the bag, a rope. I'm a good climber. But he slipped. And for that, I'm really sorry. But people need to be paid more when the stakes are higher.
It's your idea.
It was gonna be safe.
Well, I'm cool with that. So you want some money now, is that it? Yeah. I can sort that out right now. Ponty, eh? We're such good mates in the old days, eh? Back in the day. I mean, it's not your fault if you see.
Riff, listen to me. I'm an MI5 officer. Now drop.
I told him everything.
I don't care. I just want to know why.
Why? You did to survive. To be loved. They don't like your new music, babe. I'm too old to be a model. We can have another baby.
Stars in Suicide Pact shock horror. Get back now!
We weren't in range.
Police picked up your message. They knew it was from a fire officer.
Medics! Ponty's still breathing.
There's been a huge outpouring of grief at what is believed to have been the suicide pact of two of the nation's most loved figures, Riff and B. The speculation is that they were overcome by grief at the death of their baby son.
The national soap opera continues.
Are we going to get a crack at the Italian?
When he's recovered from his wounds, the drug squad intelligence unit want to recycle him as an informant. Personally, I'm glad we don't have to deal with him. Next item. The sloppy disregard of call signs during radio communications will stop.
Thank you, Harry. I would like to propose a complete overhaul of call signs procedure.
How is Fiona?
It's okay. Still in hospital.
I don't think she is.
Oh, no. Fee.
You, come. I've put in a claim to special contingencies.
I don't think I can say.
It's all right. Adam and I are going home now.
Malcolm, leave your paper with me. Meeting done.
Other news now. In a boost for family values, the Treasury Minister John Sylvester has resigned for personal reasons.
No other reason at all. No, I have a young, growing family. I don't want to miss their childhood. So I'm saying goodbye to public life. And with the tragedy that overcame baby Alfie and his parents in all our minds, I do reflect on how worthless fame can be.
And the Prime Minister?
Oh, he's very kind. Said he fully understood and he wished me and my family well.
Turn that off.
Thanks very much.
You posted his full confession to the PM.
Obviously, it was intercepted. Fiona, just lend him to me for one more job.
Meatballs, sir? Actually, I'll have caviar, beluga, and a steak tartare.
Wow, what brought that on?
A little exploitation of the media.
Oh, well, I can afford it. Do you know I've been offered the editorship of a tabloid? The tabloid.
Yes, I do know.
Oh, no one's meant to.
We too have our contacts in the Downing Street press office.
Terrible thing. Death of the baby Alfie and the suicide pact.
Do you think you'll ever print what really happened?
Destroy the memory of the nation's favourite dream couple? I don't think so. Well, not yet, anyway.
You know, a minister resigned today as well.
Oh, that pathetic little man and his whinging about his family. It was buried by the Riff and Bee suicide.
Deliberately buried. Downing Street covered it up. This is a present from Harry Pierce, strictly non-attributable. Send it to the police, print the story, Sylvester goes to prison. Think he'll use it?
Maybe. Around election time.
Robert Morgan, ex-army, one of the contacts seen meeting with a big-time Belgian arms dealer.
Who's running you?
That's not such an easy question to answer.
They've asked me to apply for the position.
Congratulations.
You've been through this, haven't you? And I'm prepared to go there again.
You wouldn't forget about us, would you? When you're pacing the floor of your new office.
What are you so frightened of?
Don't you see what the danger is here?
Something blows up in the middle of London and we don't stop it.
Even my colleague doesn't know how far I'm prepared to go.
Coming up next, the Memphis Trousers Half Hour, and it's our annual Katrina Telethon. Yes, you can donate to the causes.
The sexual impulse is like a weed, apparently. It never really dies.
The boys are feeling a little bit frisky.
Doesn't bother you that he's a father and a grandfather?
But just when they think they've seen it all.
It's an extremely rare, uncut, red diamond. How much?
Astound me.
£15 million.
What? There's still plenty of time to learn.
Yes!
Some new tricks. 8:30 Sunday on ABC.
Found latest from us.
He's missed to the right-hand side. Ball comes up the ground. Here he comes!
It's just like being there. Live on ABC Local Radio.
Saturday rugby this week is the major semi-final. Second place Eastwood have limped into the semis with 3 losses, not the ideal preparation. They take on third place Manly, who must consider themselves a real chance to go through. Semi-final action, Saturday at 3 on ABC.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Kidman Institute for Intelligent Design in Albuquerque, New Mexico, welcome to the Memphis Trousers Half Hour. So let's tap a keg, break the top off of a bottle, and get really pissed as we bring you the news, sports, and showbiz that matters to Australia. And now, could you give a big Albuquerque welcome to the host of the show, H.G. Nelson!
Yes, Yes, welcome to the Memphis Trousers Half Hour, where we cram the last 7 days into the next 30 minutes, and tonight we're coming to you from the Kidman Institute of Intelligent Design here in Albuquerque, New Mexico! And with me, as always, is Australia's answer to the atomic bomb, Roy Slavin.
Thank you very much, J.C. Nelson. Great to be in Albuquerque.
Now, Roy, you've been back to Australia.
I did. I
meantime.
ducked back
Yes.
to go to the Australian Institute of Sport in Canberra.
Institute of Sport,
yeah,
yes.
Beautiful institution, where there was a boxing match this week,
match, yes.
where we had the Snake Boy
from Tanzania.
Up against the man, Mundine.
Yes.
I took a few pictures. Let's have a look at them now. It was a marvellous night, HG. It was a really classy night where we saw the man really take apart Snake Boy. Snake Boy, who's about 57, and just didn't have the class on what was a really glamour card.
You can see the glamour there in the audience,
Glamour cards.
Roy.
The audience loved it. The audience loved it.
Yes.
And Anthony had a couple of words to say, of course.
At the end.
At the end here.
He's got a fight looming with the Green Machine.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Danny Green.
Green ain't no machine. He gonna get beat by Mundine.
Very good.
I'm the best. Forget the rest. I tell you now, it's gonna be no contest.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Poetry.
Yes.
And they say the art of poetry is dying, Roy.
Well, they do. I think Tom Keneally wrote those
Did
words
he?
for him. Yeah. Yeah.
Would have had best and rest. That would have been a tricky one.
Very tricky.
Contest, I could see.
And Green and Machine
No,
and
ours
Mundine.
will work there.
Works
Yeah,
beautifully.
it does.
Yeah. No, it was great.
And now it's time for the news headlines. Shane Warne, the greatest cricketer of this or any other generation, has single-handedly dragged Australia into a position where they could possibly save the Ashes. Warne took 5 wickets as the rest of the team stood around and tried very hard not to get in the way. Roy, it was a wonderful performance. Obviously, Warney...
A great over, wasn't
stepped out, stepped up. And let's have a look at the first over of the day's play from the Oval. First ball there, Cato catches Trskovic. A brilliant catch there. Second ball of the day, Vaughan gone.
Yeah, gone.
Catch by Clark.
Clark.
Third ball of the day, Bell.
LBW, gone. Out.
Found
Finger
Warney.
up, thank
no
you.
technique. Fourth ball of the day as we see Peterson try and defend. No, he's beaten.
Beaten in the air,
Ball
beaten
went
off the
between
pitch.
bat and pad.
Yep.
Then Warney, of course, has a rest, but you can't keep him out of the game.
He's there.
Taken catches. Fifth ball of the day. There he is. Caught.
Gone.
And that was the opening over. And, of course, Roy, the story continues.
Yes, an extraordinary performance, and I know you might be going to discuss this, HG, and that is the Prime Minister's call for tolerance by employers to employees who might want to stay up and watch the cricket. And I agree. I just don't think he's gone far enough.
No.
I think there should have been 5 public holidays.
5 holidays. Watch the thing. Yes.
5 public holidays, which would have bound the nation, and why not have a Warn Day?
What a lovely idea.
Warn Day Friday.
Next Friday.
Well, why not next? Every Friday, or one Friday a year.
One Friday a
from
year.
now on is Warn Day.
What a great idea.
What a great idea, because the bloke has done everything. The bloke should have been captain of Australia. The fact that he's an idiot precluded him, denied him the chance.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I do.
But I'm calling for a Warn Day. I know the Prime Minister's right up behind this one. And I think everyone should stay at home for the whole 5 days and just watch the match.
Can we ask the nature of Warn Day, Roy? A lot of texting going on, monitoring women, all that sort of stuff, pointing out people's, frailties and faults in the street, walking around with your trousers off, underpants on, smoking. Is that a start, Roy? By 10 o'clock you've done all that? Warn Day, count me in.
Yeah.
Now, is Captain Ponting to blame for this abysmal tour, Roy?
Captain Ponting is rubbish.
Yes, good.
He is rubbish.
Yes. Captain Warren's got to bring...
Captain Warren!
Yeah, I salute them.
What else has the bloke got to do?
I know.
Scores more runs than anyone.
Takes more wickets.
More wickets than anyone. More catches than anyone. More ideas than anyone.
Yes.
Greater sense of cricket than anyone. And you got Ponting. Done nothing.
No, dull.
Dull. No ideas.
No.
Can't bat. Can't bowl. Can't field. Can't captain. Can't wear trousers properly. Looks wrong in cream.
Look a lot better in a dress, wouldn't he, Roy?
haven't seen him in a dress.
No, he's great.
Warney says he's seen him in a dress.
very
I like the look of him.
Yeah. The Australian way of life is under attack, with football clubs in several codes banning Mad Monday. The CEO of Rugby League's Rabbitohs said the concept of getting together and making an orchestrated attempt to binge drink and do stupid things had put him off the idea of Mad Monday. Most players agree that the concept was much better suited to Tuesdays, Wednesdays or Thursdays. Now, Roy, the role of Mad Monday in the football year, I know you're a big supporter of it. You believe it can work and it has a role in the Australian way of life. Warn Friday followed by Mad Monday. That's how I'm seeing it.
That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Look, I think players are under so much tremendous pressure. These days that they need to debrief. You need a bonding debrief. 'Twas ever thus that footballers in particular, super fit, athletic young men who can really hold their piss.
You forget that,
You
don't
forget that. Should be able to have one day where they can really sink a few beers.
Yeah, a few beers.
You know, you're not asking for more than that. No. Just to leave the players alone and let them have a few beers.
That's right. Well, we've got some footage to compare two codes. We've got AFL Mad Monday here to start with, and players, as you can see, are out of control.
They're just having a few beers.
They're raging about, chock-a-block full of piss, unable to get it up. They're destroying everything they see. They're causing the cops, mayhem. The cops to be involved 24/7 for one day. Then, of course, when it comes to tricky shots, they can't put them away. The stars of the West Coast Eagles are there. They're legless. They're having to sit down to pour more beer into them. I mean, it's no wonder they're calling for it to be banned.
I know.
On the other hand...
Yes, your rugby league.
Your rugby league players are sedate. They're not going very overweight to cause trouble. They're just having a few beers quietly about the backyard. They're not creating a disturbance. They've got the best interest of the community that they're at involved. Sure, a couple a bit close to the road, but
it's a debrief, actually. It's a debrief.
They're explaining what went wrong in round 3, and here's somebody who wishes they had, obviously kicked that goal, which would have obviously won him the flag. I mean, it's a complete contrast there, but the changing attitudes of the clubs is a big worry, isn't it? Because Mad Monday could become a thing of the past with an ever-increasing professionalism coming into the game.
Yes, I know. I certainly hope that never happens this year. I mean, I love Mad Mondays. I still do. You know, it's the cultural stories that are passed on. You know, the great moments. I remember, with the Shamrocks in Lithgow, Mad Monday was great. I remember Stomper Staines, he was pronounced clinically dead. Clinically dead. An absolute legend.
He's still upright, though,
he came back to life. Yeah.
4 hours later.
But he sat there drinking for 3 days. Non-stop. And when he was totally paralytic, the boys helped him out by lifting his arm up, keeping it going.
That's right.
It wasn't until we put him out, laid him in the trough, out in the toilets, that we brought him round in the best possible way, and he thanked us for it, because he thought he was dead too.
That was after you'd set fire to him.
Yeah, we set fire to him.
The only way you could set fire to him was piss on him.
Yeah.
Well, of course you would. You're
strange. Yeah, absolutely. But that's how the stories start, HG. That's how legends, that's how club culture comes about. He bound the club together because everyone wanted to be like Stomper the next year.
Yeah. And you laid a platform that day, didn't you?
Laid a platform.
You laid a platform to win the premiership, the Group 10 premiership.
That's right.
There in the trough, out front of the Bloodhouse Hotel.
Got it in one. We wouldn't have won anything unless Stomper had devoted or almost dedicated his total life. Lay down his life, poisoned himself for the club in the slowest way imaginable. Just to drink and drink and drink until you're dead.
A developer in the UK has come up with what could be the answer for Australia's slumping property market. With every home purchased in a new estate, he's throwing in a free pig. No questions asked. Owners have the option of having the pigs house-trained as pets or kept at a farm until they're ready to become bacon or gourmet sausages. Roy, does this pig thrown in with the house represent a substantial discount on the price of English, housing?
Well, it depends on the price on the day of your Gloucester Spot.
Yeah, your Gloucester Spot pigs.
Beautiful pig.
Oh, magnificent eating.
They are wonderful pigs. They're trainable, they're very clean living. Personality pigs, I like to think. Your Gloucester spots, and you can get upwards of, say, £1,000.
Pound, yeah.
I don't know what that translates into US dollars, but it's a fair way
$2,500?
Yeah.
Maybe $2,000?
Yeah, so it represents real value. And it encourages families to understand what I would call animal husbandry.
Animal husbandry, very good.
You can either train your pig, as you mentioned, HG, to do funny things like, you know, go and get the mail. Or the really smart ones, they can drive around to the shop and...
Get the milk.
Get your milk and bread for you, because your Gloucester spot can do that, and can hold its end up of a conversation too, if truth be known. Or, as you mentioned, you can just say, well, take it down to the abattoirs and do the doings and bring back the bags. Or you can do it yourself in the backyard.
Well, I think that's the best thing to do.
And that brings families together.
It does.
Families who blood pigs, HG, they're wonderful. It's a real bonding thing.
It is. Roy, are they fun to live with, a pig? I mean, you know, people have dogs and cats and things like that. Can you have a pig in the same way in the house? I mean, toilet training. How hard is it to toilet train a pig?
As easy as a dog. Yeah, honestly, because they are smart. You know, I think in terms of DNA, they're closer to us than chimpanzees.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And there will come a time, actually, I know we're doing lots of transplants at the moment, you know, liver, kidneys, those sorts of things with pigs. It won't be long before brains can be
swapped. Well, we've been training pigs for years here on the Trousers. We've got some footage of some recent developments here. Here they are, 3 in a obviously pen. We trained them to go in the house, as you can see there. That's no problems there. They love that, living in there.
Love that.
They love racing.
They love racing.
It's terrific fun. Obviously, the number 4 is a bit burly and in need of the run, but the crowds love it who come around. And then, of course, you can't keep them out of the swimming pool. That's just great there. They are a lot of fun, aren't they?
They are a lot of fun, yeah.
And
most underrated animal.
What is the attitude of the RSPCA? Do they think this is cool?
I think they love it.
They don't?
Oh, yeah. Because they figure fewer are going to be killed if they're given away to people, to families, to look after and maintain.
What a lovely idea. We'll be back with more lovely ideas right after this important message.
Drugstores don't sell Viagra in Australia. That's because all Aussie men have erections all the time. Aussie guys don't leave the house without what they call a stiffy. Guys walking around without a stiffy are attacked and called flat fronts.
And now for the showbiz headlines. People looking for an ideal Christmas present will be thrilled to hear that Daryl Summers is releasing a debut solo album. People in Albuquerque here obviously know Daryl's work. The album will feature Daryl's unique interpretation of many Kylie Minogue classics. Roy, this is good news, isn't it, this weekend?
Win, isn't it?
Win. Look, let's not hold these pictures from the people here in Albuquerque. Here's Daryl on the job singing this week during Dancing with the Stars. It's a great performance, isn't it?
Last night I waved goodbye.
Good start.
Brilliant start. Always good out of the blocks, Daryl. You can see him there in the highlight on the left of the screen, and the arrow's indicating, obviously, where he should be.
He should be centre frame for mine.
He is. It is a magnificent read of this.
That's better. That's great. I'd love to see him on Australian Idol.
He's that good, isn't he?
He's that good.
Don't tell me you wouldn't bring home the bacon to,
Coin a phrase, yeah.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Well done. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. I tell you why I think Daryl is so good, HG, is most singers of renown, you know, up your Pavarotti and your Placido Domingo end.
The clowns of the caper.
The clowns of the caper. They tend to go just above the note and slide down. Daryl has reversed this as a concept. He loves to go just below the note
and slide
sometimes
down.
unerringly stay below it. That's harder to do. That's much harder to do. You try it sometime. It's bloody impossible because you think, oh no, let's go up. Daryl doesn't. I think he's a genius.
Roy, obviously he's done most of the recording. What style of songs? What style of
easy to listen to.
Easy to listen
but
to.
With a little bit of punch. With that feel-good, easy-breezy Daryl Summers. click your fingers, let's move it, mix the soup with the brushes, style.
Right. Well, look, we do have the record cover here to show you.
Yeah.
This is Daryl, as you can see here. Daryl Summers, one voice. That's Daryl. And the track listing that was released to me includes a 15-minute version of Oop Oop a Doo.
Yeah.
Great Balls of Fire. I Like It Both Ways, the old Supernaut song. Dude Looks Like a Lady from Aerosmith. And he's doing a version which surprises me, a swing version of the Sex Pistols' God Save the Queen. So a little bit of something for everybody there, isn't it?
Won't that move at Christmas time?
It will. It will.
It's not just a stocking filler. I mean, that's all you need to give someone if you really love them.
A new buzz sport was unveiled this week in Portugal, with experts describing it as being like playing rugby with a runaway refrigerator. Bull tackling involves a team of 8 people finding a bull and tackling it. The Trousers cameras went to Portugal this week, and we were lucky to get these pictures of bull tackling there. Obviously, they all line up in a row, and the bull has a go at him and tries to knock them all over. That's the Japanese.
The Japanese, are they good?
From the land of the rising sun. Here we see the Japanese speed team getting involved. The bull gets the upper hand, and away it goes in the El Toro doors.
Yes.
And this person loved it.
Well, I think she's saying there she didn't expect to see the Japanese performing so well. She loves their style. She's glad it's taking off, and she wishes the locals all the best. Here's the local team,
Here's the Portuguese team.
Portuguese going for the tail.
More technique there.
As
the
you'd
crowd
expect.
Up on their feet, and then the
back
back
they
away.
It was a great match. Japanese put it right up to us, but we just maintained control, and when we went for the tail, we knew we had it won. It's a great sport, isn't it?
It is fantastic. I haven't... I'm not sure of the origins of the sport, but
No.
the rules of the...
Lost in history.
Lost in history, yes.
I think
The rules of the competition, Roy, and is it fun? I mean, I know you've had a go.
I have had a go. I have had a go. Look, it is surprisingly engaging. You stand there. Of course, the bull's been doctored a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You got to wait for him to, stick a few spears in the neck and weaken the neck.
Weaken the neck and saw the
horns off and cover them in leather, so there's no danger.
No.
And then you just got to line up with your mates, and you got a tail specialist.
Backdoor man.
Backdoor man, yeah. And you let the bull come in here.
Yeah.
You flop over its head.
Go limp, obviously.
Go limp. Your mates come in behind you.
Yeah.
And then your tail man, your tail gunner, goes back and gives it a tug there. It's great fun. And then you just scatter. Because the bull doesn't like it that much, He's going to try and get at you. But it's great fun, and especially if you form a relationship with the bull, as you normally do. Because then you can follow it down to the abattoir later on and they slaughter it for you.
Now,
which is
Roy,
part of the tradition as well.
Roy, on a day, is there only one sort of between, your big bullfights, featuring your great matadors and toreadors and so on, a couple of tackling teams come out, or is it a whole card in itself?
No, it's a whole card because you start with the under-13s.
Then you go
then
through
on and on you go.
You're
to the seniors.
over 60s.
You're over 60s, your senior set. They're great fun because often some of them are killed. And for the Portuguese, there's no better way to go. No. Gored to death by a bull on your 90th birthday.
We'll be back right after the break.
Australians believe in magical creatures called bunyips. Apparently, they live in swamps and look like Larry Hagman. It's all nonsense, of course. Larry is really quite tall.
And now for the sports headlines. The AFL will separate rival fans for tomorrow's sellout showdown semi-final to try and avoid violence between fans of the Adelaide Crows and Port Power. Fans of both clubs have complained it's ridiculous to expect players to provide all the violence. Roy, is this entirely necessary? I mean, how wild are these Crows and Power supporters?
I think they're pretty wild. pretty passionate. I think we have some footage of
I think we start off with the power first. Here's the power, the teal and black and white. There they are. They look ferocious,
don't they?
And when you get up close, you don't want to get too close to any of them for very long, especially on a bus without a toilet after a few beers, because it can be a very, very long and painful ride.
Absolutely right.
Now we look at the other side of the fence, and the crows...
Crows are mad, aren't they? Mad.
Completely nuts, completely off the planet. Here they are, look at this, they're just wild with delight. They love their footy. They're going absolutely off their trees there, nuts and mad. They build these big signs made out of bed sheets. The police can't contain them. I think the police have banned swearing from the match as well.
Well, that's bound to work.
Yeah, bound to work. I think the local paper there in Adelaide, the Adelaide Advertiser, is printing a list of acceptable swearing that can go on. As I understand it, bum's okay, but that's it.
Is bugger all right?
Bugger, no. Root's not allowed.
Bastard? Tossle?
Tossle's okay because the police don't understand what it means. You're allowed to say bum, I understand, if you spill beer down your front.
Oh, bum.
Yeah,
like
bum.
Yeah.
Or, you know, somebody, walking by drops a pie on your head or something like that. Oh, bum, I wish that hadn't happened. Things like that.
Well, that's bound to work.
If you're caught swearing, out you go.
Out you go. Now, is the idea to segregate the audience, the
That's
crowd?
right. Crows on one side, power on the other.
No, it can't work.
No, it can't.
It can't work. Look, I remember local derbies in Lithgow, Group 10 competition. Shamrocks v Workman's Club. The only way we could solve the problem of violence was to have an area behind the grandstand where if people in the crowd wanted to fight each other, they could go. And people would queue up
for
hours to get a good fight. And it was a great money spinner too, because you'd have as many people gathered around the outer area for the fights as there were watching the rugby league. It was fantastic, and the police could monitor it and break people up into weight divisions and age divisions. You know what I mean? They'd have a look and say, oh, you're about 15 stone, mate. No, you over there. Come on, you two, off you go. And go and get into it, mate. Have a few beers.
A few beers.
And it was controlled, and that's the only way you're going to... Segregation never works.
No.
Because if people are willing, if people want to fight, they'll find it. They'll find it. And it'll go underground.
Underground. Oh, that's the big fear. It'll go underground.
Unless you police it.
Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway has lost a round of Australia's national sport, V8 supercar racing, to wait for it, Bahrain. After forays into New Zealand and China, it seems just a matter of time before Ulaanbaatar and Mogadishu get their own V8 supercar events. Roy, I'm outraged by this. Yeah. Outraged. Yeah. I mean, Eastern Creek, one of the great racing venues of the world.
Isn't it? It is.
V8 supercar racing, a national sport. It teams Holden v Ford, the great battle of Australian suburbs.
Yeah.
Holden car, is it any good? Ford, no, it's a heap of rubbish. This one's better, that one's better. People understand, they grow up in a Holden family, they grow up in a Ford family. V8, it's a melting pot for the whole of Australia. Before we come to any more discussion and thoughts about it, let's have a look at how exciting it can be. Here is V8 supercar racing. Yeah. Look at that.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's just unbelievable.
I can't get enough of those pictures. No. I could watch it all day. In fact, I have done.
Yes, here they go. There's occasionally you get a shunt like that, which is just great.
It doesn't happen very often, but it's great when it does.
And then they go, they just...
Aren't they fast?
They're fast, and you can drive them with bits falling off and busted tyres and motors that don't work. They're just great cars.
Great cars.
And to think that Australia is going to be denied so as people in Bahrain can come down, have a few beers if they want to, and watch the V8. It just does me in.
Beggars belief, doesn't it?
It beggars belief. It does me in.
Have we got any footage of Bahrain? Where
I think we've got some. We'll have a look at Bahrain right now. Here it is here. Nothing there. No one to see it. No understanding of what Ford means. No understanding of the importance of Holden to Australia. No. Nothing. Just a howling desert landscape.
Yeah. But HG, you know, if we can get say the Middle East interested in V8 supercars, you know, you've got the oil there.
True.
You know what I mean? It's you know, the shorter the distance I've found between hole in the ground and the petrol tank, the better. You know what I mean? And if say the Middle East get really right up, say Holdens, or Fords. Let's say someone like Iraq becomes Ford, Iran
Holden
becomes Holden,
Wow, now you're talking.
Now you're talking, aren't you?
You can settle world problems.
World problems.
With V8
supercars.
Isn't that amazing?
And they've got plenty of oil. All they need is the concept.
Concept, that's right.
I can see this leading to world peace.
Well, that and bull tackling and rugby league solving problems and V8 supercars. No, I think you're absolutely right. And so it's a wonderful future you've just set out there. Roy will be back to wrap up the show right after this.
If you were down under this week, you would be celebrating National Cat Week. Aussies love cats. 6 out of 10 Aussies breed cats. 9 out of 10 have seen the musical Cats. Twice. Unfortunately, however, many Aussies love drinking. Many an Aussie wakes to find he or she spent the night with a cat.
Roy, sadly, it's time to wrap up the show. What are you up to in the coming set of 7, bro?
Actually, I'm immediately in the plane to London to meet up with the boys with the 5th test.
Wow.
And I'm going to have a few beers with Wardy.
Win, lose or draw?
Win, lose or draw, yeah.
Isn't that tremendous? Well, look, I'm off to the Roswell UFO Museum here in Albuquerque.
Don't go, mate. It's too freaky.
I know. You went once, didn't you?
I went once, yeah.
And you were taken
I was changed forever.
Yeah.
Because I was taken away, I reckon, for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And I came back and there were things in my head no one can find. And time had gone nowhere. It was like I hadn't left at all.
Right.
People said, you haven't been anywhere, Roy, and I knew I'd been away for 6 months.
Yeah. And have you told anybody about it apart, you know...
No,
anybody?
just you and the audience.
I'm still going to give it a go.
You're mad.
I wouldn't mind going away for 6 months. That's it for the Trousers. We'll be back with more after my trip to the Roswell UFO Museum next week.
From Albuquerque, New Mexico, this has been the Memphis Trousers Half Hour. Until next time, this is Sam Riplinger Jr. saying, chicks go crazy when I say, fair dinkum on your cookie, baby. Good night!
Uh-oh, dingo.
Fry, baby.
There she was in those weird outfits looking like Buddy Holly, and I thought that's so cool.
Lost Highway looks at how the women of country music fought to gain control of their identity, their songs, and the future of country itself.
Shania Twain, country music's biggest selling female artist, went through a typical makeover as part of a calculated strategy to take country to the MTV audience.
The final episode of Lost Highway, Saturday on ABC.
Make the most of Australia's open garden scheme with the latest essential guide to our magnificent open gardens. Featuring gardens throughout Australia, the guide has detailed information on opening times, how to get there, and what to expect when you arrive. And get the most out of your garden with hundreds of fantastic tips in the Garden Guru from ABC Radio's Phil Dudman. Open Garden Scheme Guidebook and The Garden Guru from ABC shops, ABC centres, bookstores and online.
Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. A little girl lost, a family's grief.
They're the missing girl's parents, aren't they?
Down in the village, a nightmare unfolds.
This is my time. My moment.
3 bad wolves and a mountain of gold.
£2.4 million.
Lock all the doors, turn down the lights.
A Canterbury Tale this Sunday night.
Monday night on ABC at 8 o'clock on Australian Story, Inside a Police Siege. The cops who were there speak out for the first time.
First time in my career I'd ever been shot at.
And at 8:30 on Four Corners, the 3-in-1 vaccine. Is there a link with autism? What are the risks in not getting the jab? New answers to break a deadlocked debate. That's Monday night on ABC.
Tonight, the devil is in the detail as Barnaby Joyce again weighs up the Telstra sale.
If we'd had this information before, we possibly may have made a different decision. Means that it's lucky we got an inquiry today.
So what is the decision you're going to make next week?
No idea.
Good evening, welcome to Lateline. I'm Maxine McHugh. In our Friday forum this week, Queensland Liberal Senator George Brandis shapes up to Labor's Treasury spokesman Wayne Swan. First though, to the headlines. A tiger in their tank. Consumer pressure grows on John Howard to stem petrol price profiteering. The cost of Katrina climbs as the big push to get everyone out of New Orleans continues. And postal vote. Japan prepares for a general election this weekend. Telstra has fired the latest shot in its war of words with the federal government, warning that legislation clearing the way for full privatisation could drive the company out of business. Managers from the telco have also told a Senate inquiry that over-regulation will stifle investment in new infrastructure. The government is hoping to push its sale legislation through the Senate next week, but it's not yet assured. National Senator Barnaby Joyce is rethinking his support for selling the government's remaining stake. From Canberra, Nada Gilmore reports.
Barnaby Joyce had agreed to back the Telstra sale, but that was before he knew about the secret briefing Telstra gave to the Prime Minister, which revealed years of underinvestment and faults in 14% of all lines.
If we'd had this information before, we possibly may have made a different decision.
So what is the decision you're going to make next week?
No idea.
He began work hoping a one-day Senate inquiry into the Telstra sale legislation would provide answers. The telco's American management team was nowhere to be seen, but the message for the government stayed the same.
As far as we're concerned, this is a step backwards which will dull competition, weaken Telstra and further reduce shareholder value.
And the warnings continued. Telstra claims tougher regulation included in the sale legislation could have drastic consequences.
Rules that continue to regulate us as though we're a monopolist will eventually put us out of business.
Telstra says it's already being forced to give its competitors network access at less than cost price, and it claims that's discouraging investment in new infrastructure.
Why would anyone invest in these circumstances?
The competition watchdog disagrees.
Well, we just don't think there's any substance to those claims.
Barnaby Joyce just wanted a straight answer.
Would you want me to vote for it or not?
And, you know, I'm not sure. I understand the position that you're in, but I'm not sure that's a question that it's reasonable to expect me to answer.
It's a remarkable place, this room. No one wants to answer that question. But they expect me to.
He put the same question to the National Farmers Federation, which has raised concerns about the impact of the sale on the bush.
Mr Corish, on Monday or Tuesday, do you want me to vote for the legislation or not?
Senator, I'm not going to put myself in your...
That's what you put back
Senator,
on
I'm not going to put myself in your shoes. I am here to represent the farmers of Australia.
Senator Joyce did get one answer, a confirmed loophole in the legislation for the promised $2 billion Bush Telecommunications Fund. The legislation allowed for up to $2 billion.
So could I put $1 billion in there and still be complying with the Act?
Yes, Senator.
Could I put in $20 and still be complying with the Act?
Yes, Senator.
The Senate inquiry is due to report on Monday. Labor says the committee hasn't been given enough time.
The whole process is a farce and the government should be condemned in the strongest terms for this abusive process.
Barnaby Joyce left Canberra frustrated by the lack of clear answers.
Well, you can just see that complete ambiguity. No one, all the NFF went to water where we put it on them. We said, OK, if you don't want us to vote for it, just say so.
That vote, clearing the way for the Telstra sale, is expected to take place early next week. At this stage, the Prime Minister doesn't seem worried about Barnaby Joyce's second thoughts.
Senator Joyce is entitled to take whatever counsel he chooses, and we'll just see how events unfold.
Senator Joyce will spend the weekend talking to his Queensland colleagues, and once again the government will have no choice but to wait. Nada Gilmore, Lateline.
The government is also under pressure over record petrol prices. The Prime Minister today ruled out a cut in petrol taxes and made no commitment to an inquiry into oil company profiteering. Philip Lasker reports.
This is becoming an increasingly painful experience, and motorists know one thing: they're the big losers.
I think most of the benefits the government's getting.
The oil companies are probably skimming off a bit as well, so it's both.
I don't know, but I'd like to know.
Even the chairman of the competition regulator, Graham Samuel, says there's something funny going on with pricing amid claims oil companies are price gouging. Mr Samuel says oil refineries are extracting higher profits because of increased demand from China and the damage to refineries caused by Hurricane Katrina. That didn't stop the Prime Minister from facing a barrage of callers in Western Australia demanding petrol tax relief, which he rejected.
Well, look, there are a number of things I could do, but I don't think they are sensible things to do.
Petrol price gouging is hitting Australians hard, but an out-of-touch government won't do a thing about it.
The opposition called for stronger trade practices laws and closer ACCC monitoring on petrol prices. Petrol retailer and refiner Caltex admitted refining profits had increased, but rejected claims of profiteering.
This current short-term circumstance is leading to higher returns than would otherwise be the case. But if you look at Caltex's first half profit, we made less than 2 cents a litre on every litre sold. It's not anything that anybody would suggest would be profiteering.
But Caltex says the pain may subside somewhat in coming weeks. Philip Lasker, Lateline.
Papua New Guinea has been rocked by an earthquake 96 kilometres off its northeast coast. So far, there have been no reports of injury or damage from the quake, which measured 7.3 on the Richter scale. Tides of up to 70 centimetres were recorded in Rabaul Harbour, but authorities say there is no threat of a major tsunami. There have been emotional services in Canberra and Jakarta to mark the anniversary of the bombing of Australia's Indonesian embassy. A joint Muslim-Christian service in Jakarta remembered the 11 Indonesian staff who died in the attack. A policeman who survived the blast donned his uniform for the first time since sustaining his injuries and rose from his wheelchair to pay his respects. Australia's ambassador told the service the two countries remained united in their fight against terrorism.
Terrorists have now tried twice to blast Australia and Indonesia and Australia and Indonesians apart. And I think I wanted to say this to everyone. They have failed utterly.
The Prime Minister attended a parallel service in Canberra. In New Orleans, as the city slowly empties of water, officials are determined to empty it of people as well. Forced removals are underway, even though the city says the police and National Guard are under orders to use extreme sensitivity. US President George W. Bush has told America to brace for the worst when the final death toll is revealed. And he's joined other politicians in predicting Katrina could cost the US government more than $200 billion. Norman Hermont reports.
No, we're all right. For all the talk of forced evacuations in New Orleans, much of the time the weapon used is simple persistence. Many of those still left behind are scared and exhausted. The city says the police and National Guard will be extremely sensitive when it comes to using force. But even with those strict guidelines, the units involved do not relish this task.
It is surreal. Yeah, you never expect to do this in your own country.
There is still no body count. Most corpses are slowly rotting, waiting to be recovered. George W. Bush has told America to brace for a grim final death toll. He's also announced another $2 billion in emergency aid, enough to give each displaced family an immediate $2,600.
Responsibility of caring for hundreds of thousands of citizens who no longer have homes are going to place many demands on our nation. We have many difficult days ahead, especially as we recover those who did not survive the storm.
Already, the U.S. Congress has approved nearly $80 billion in aid for Katrina, and it won't stop there.
There's going to be lots more money. I think a minimum of $150 billion, maybe even more than that.
The bill gets bigger, and so does the political fight over Katrina in Washington.
Look, we're not going to let partisanship hinder the response effort. We need to get things done. If some people want to make this a political issue, if that's what is most important to them, then they have to have the ability and the freedom to do that. In the meantime, we have a lot of people in this country that need help.
But with scenes such as these still making an impact, Democrats are demanding answers. Their number one target, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA.
We know that FEMA was unaware that 20,000 Americans were stranded at the convention center without food, without water, without security, without clothes, without buses, without toilets, and with no way out. And I had to stand there and listen to the news media say these people were lawless. These were mothers and fathers trying to find water for their kids.
The White House continues to send powerful signals that it is responding to this crisis. Vice President Dick Cheney became the first cabinet member to visit the city of New Orleans proper to inspect recovery efforts. Earlier, however, there were some bumps on his carefully scripted tour in the disaster zone.
One of the things you got to figure out is you've got to figure out what to do with all of the debris.
Are you getting a lot of that, Mr. Vice President?
And it's the first time I've heard it.
Dick Cheney may not have heard the criticism yet, but with each day trying to plug the gaps in the levees, there appears to be no stopping the political attacks after Katrina. Norman Hermont, Lateline.
Japan goes to the polls this weekend for an election which could radically reshape the country's political future. Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi has staked his career and perhaps that of his political party on privatising the country's post office. The government-owned service is used as a bank by millions of people and holds assets of $3 trillion. Supporters of the Koizumi's reforms believe the post office funds are used to support crony capitalism, mainly the financing of unnecessary infrastructure projects. Latest opinion polls suggest that Mr Koizumi's gamble may pay off, with his Liberal Democratic Party tipped to retain power. Donald Horne's death this week reminded us all of the most famous line he ever wrote, that Australia is a lucky country run by second-rate people who share its luck. Well, in the context of this week's political and economic news, it's particularly apposite. While the national accounts show that profits are high and that the country is experiencing the best terms of trade in a generation on the back of a resource boom, we also got confirmation of a distinctly second-rate performance from the one-time monopoly monolith Telstra. And performances from both management and the government over the future of the telco also seemed less than optimal. And there weren't too many firsts being handed out today after the release of plans to toughen up the country's anti-terror laws. Even some Liberal MPs took a dim view of the lack of consultation. Well, to range over the week, I've been joined tonight by Liberal Senator George Brandis. He's in our Brisbane studio. And in Canberra, Labor's Treasury spokesman Wayne Swan. So welcome to both of you. Now, first to the proposed new anti-terror laws. John Howard, of course, says they are unusual but necessary. George Brandis, is he right?
Well, I think they do take to a higher level the expansion of policing functions, particularly by ASIO and the Australian Federal Police, than has hitherto been the case. The Prime Minister announced yesterday a suite of new measures. Some of them are novel. We haven't had them before. For example, a regime of preventative detention, a device called control orders, which are a bit like, said to be a bit like apprehended violence orders, in the sense that people can be placed under surveillance because there's an apprehension they may be involved in the future in a terrorist activity. And then some more commonplace things, like, for example, the expansion of surveillance at airports and public places, the conferring on ASIO and the Australian Federal Police of stop and search powers, the tightening of the definition of sedition in the Commonwealth Crimes Act, the clarification, we're told, of the meaning of the expression terrorist act, some provisions in relation to supplement the existing provisions relating to the financing of terrorism, and some other measures as well.
Now, the way these proposals were brought into the party room, was that also novel?
Well, the Prime Minister is leaving for the Poverty Summit in New York on Sunday, and he was eager to make the announcement before he left. Next week is the last sitting period of Parliament for another 3 weeks, and in the meantime there'll be a COAG meeting, and the Prime Minister was eager to for the Commonwealth to take leadership on this and to put a Commonwealth set of proposals on the table at COAG. If he were to do that, and if he were himself to announce them in advance, they had to be dealt with yesterday.
But it meant, of course, that the proposals did not go to the Attorney General's Committee, which you chair. That's right?
That's correct.
And you took a dim view of that?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I made a contribution in the party room, and I don't propose to discuss on television what is said in the party room, because that's a private forum for the Liberal Party. But we were reassured that what was being put to us was a highly generic set of in-principle proposals that, when they took form in draft legislation, the ordinary orthodox procedures of the party room, including scrutiny by the Attorney General's Committee, would be followed.
All right. Wayne Swan, as you heard George Brandis say there, this will go to COAG very soon, and early indications are that the Labor premiers will sign on to more or less the intent of these laws. So which way will federal Labor go?
Well, we're always supportive of important national security proposals, but I guess I can say what George Brandis said in the party room. It is simply outrageous to announce such important measures with such consequence for our civil liberties by the way of a two-page statement. We are always ready to sign up.
Well, Wayne, you don't know what I said in the party room, and none of the sentence you've just uttered did I say.
Well, George, you were complaining in the party room that your parliamentary committee did not have the courtesy of seeing these proposals and being briefed on them, and nor have the Australian people, and neither has the opposition. We are always ready to sign up to proposals which are effective and which respect our best traditions. But if you issue a two-page press release and don't take the Parliament or the people into your confidence, what you will generate is community suspicion and opposition which may be unnecessary.
Wayne, these are developing proposals, and let me tell you how they developed. They emerged from the National Security Committee of Cabinet on Wednesday night. They came to the party room at 11 o'clock on Thursday morning. They were announced by the Prime Minister at 1 o'clock on Thursday. Far from there not being consultation, as soon as the proposals in their broad generic form had been signed off on by the National Security Committee of Cabinet, they were announced to the public, and that is the form which they have pending the embodiment of those generic principles in specific
draft let's just look at some of that reaction. George Brandis, as you know, across the spectrum in terms of legal experts, whether it's Greg Craven, Lex Lasry from the Victorian Bar, Robert Turner here in New South Wales Bar Association, they're really all saying the same things, that these proposals, if enacted, take away some fundamental rights. And if you do that, you put these on the books, they're there on the books for a long time, hard to get them off. Unless, of course, there are sunset clauses.
That's a fair point, and it's a point that has been made before, both by legal scholars and legal professional representatives and judges, and also by people, including myself, in the past, in the party room. My advice to those people is to pause, wait until we see the legislation in draft form before essaying criticisms of it. And I am at pains to stress this, that what we have are proposals in the broad. They are currently in development. And I think it's far too early to mount a detailed critique, because what we know of these proposals simply doesn't admit of that.
All right, Wayne Swan, it also sounds as if Labor is holding its fire on this at the moment.
Well, Maxine, all that George has said proves that they were rushed out there. That was the word that he used, and they were rushed out there by the Prime Minister because he was in strife on misleading the public and the Parliament about Telstra.
OK, let's move to Telstra. Still with you, Wayne Swan. The fracas between Telstra and the government this week, in particular the revelation of that August 11 briefing that Telstra gave to the majority shareholder, but not to other Australian shareholders. Among many things, does this not demonstrate precisely why the government should not be in the ownership business of a phone company when there clearly is this conflict of interest?
Absolutely not. What this shows is that the government has stripped Telstra reserves of $8 billion worth of dividends, which Telstra told the government on the 11th of August was unsustainable. The government then decided not to share that information and decided not to instruct Telstra to share that information with the Australian Stock Exchange. The consequence of that has been that the network over time has been underinvested in, so the government hasn't told the truth to the National Party. And secondly,
well, hang on, excuse me, I would have thought there's also the question of the board not coming clean. I mean, what's Don McGauchie been
Certainly,
doing?
certainly. But this Prime Minister has the power to direct the board to inform the stock exchange on the briefing. He didn't do that. So ultimately, responsibility lies with the Prime Minister. That's where it lies. And he spent most of the week trying to cover that up, which is why we had the rush out there with a 2-page press release on national security measures.
All right. George Brandis, I mean, where does responsibility on this lie?
Well,
I mean, we had the majority
it's not-
shareholder remaining mute and Sol Trujillo not providing an earnings update until last Monday.
Couple of things, Maxine. First of all, the premise of the question to Wayne a minute ago was dead right. Because what happened demonstrated the impossibly false position that we have with the government being the majority shareholder in Telstra. Under the Telstra Corporation Act, Telstra has a statutory obligation
suspended for an important game against Portsmouth. I do believe they beat Portsmouth. And I do believe they would have beat them if Viduka was playing. Viduka got himself punished by kicking the ball away.
Yep.
Which seems to be crazy and getting sent off for kicking the ball away. Here, you can have
kick it anywhere you like.
You can kick anybody anywhere you like. But he got suspended and he missed a game, and I think that'll be the most important miss of his life.
Well, Gordon, it's a pleasure to have you here as guest of the Kangaroos. Enjoy the second half if you can make something of it, and enjoy the rest of your time.
I've really enjoyed it. It's very good.
Gordon Strachan, one of the great names of UK football, our very special guest here on Fox Footy. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
Today, it's long and tasty as Sydney take on Essendon at the MCG. The Swans will be pumped, but the Dons are no pushover. Essendon versus Sydney today on Fox Footy Channel.
Add a golden glow to this Mother's Day with Harvey Norman's gift ideas. Save 30% on Moroccan bed linen Queen quilt cover, now $145. With a bonus Jamie Oliver cookbook, this Samsung Sensor microwave is just $169. And pick her favourite colour in Sunbeam's Mixmaster Professional, $3.99 with bonus gifts. Plus, shop now at Harvey Norman and you could win Mum one of 5 $10,000 gold movie passes. Wow! Conditions apply. See store for details.
Go Harvey, Norman, go!
Clean up at Bunny's Warehouse with the lowest prices every day. Smoke alarm, only $8.40. 4-litre weather shield, $56.94. Aluminium work platform, $69. Axe or block splitter, $17.49 each. Pack of 10 light globes, just $3.98. And you name it, we hire it. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bunny's Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Performance, precision handling and aerodynamic body, the Camry Sportiva is built for great roads.
This Tuesday, White Line Fever, Australia's only talkback television program, reaches another milestone. It's our 300th episode and you're invited, along with other members of the 300 Club, to mark the occasion. Joining me for this special 90-minute edition, Courageous Swan Barry Round, Collingwood legend David Cloke, Tiger great Francis Burke and the Master Bomber Simon Madden. And our guest from our very first show, Wayne Carey, will be along as well. White Line Fever joins the 300 Club live Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern.
Hi, I'm Sam Kekovich. As an avid purveyor of exceptional articulation, as well as an enthusiastic analyser of the feminine form, I never miss living with footballers, and neither should you.
Living with Footballers, Thursday on Fox Footy Channel.
As a player and a coach, I achieved almost everything in the game that I could have possibly dreamed of. Now I'm at Fox Footy, I've got a different perspective. I just love being a supporter once again.
Terry Wallace there pleading for one last effort.
I really love coming to work, and you can't ask for more than that.
Terry Wallace, footy fan, part of the Fox Footy team.
Welcome back to Manuka Oval. Terrible news for Gavin Dorr, who's off to the hospital with a broken leg. But the real story of the game is the Kangaroos in front of goal, 91-56. Harvey and Motlop 3 each. Grant and Simpson have been terrific. And Tony, West has had plenty of the ball, but it's inside 50s where the Kangaroos have been dominant, 33-18.
Well, that just tells the story, doesn't it, Matty? And Scotty West, as you said, he has been a dominant, a lone hand in midfield, but dominant on the field for the Western Bulldogs. But the Kangaroos, they're spreading the load. Shannon Grant's had 15 possessions. Simpson's had a fair bit. They've got more people in the midfield who are getting the ball at the moment. A big half for the Western Bulldogs where Brad Johnson and I think Rowan Smith have to lift for the Bulldogs.
Let's check on the score at the MCG, the game between the Swans and Essendon. Straight after this game, there will be a replay of that game. So if you don't want to know the score, you know what to do. Look away now. Well, Kevin, what do the Bulldogs have to do, Kevin, in this second half? The 35 points is not insurmountable, but they've got to make a change pretty quickly.
I suppose they've got to match the intensity of the Kangaroos. I think that's one of the things we know about the Kangaroos. They just keep on coming. They get numbers to the ball and players to the ball. We'll go down to Troy Luff.
Yeah, we're out the back here now with the ambulance officers. They're actually taking Gavin Dorr to Canberra Hospital. They're going to get some x-rays on his leg. But Gavin's actually said that he's going to make it back here for the end of the game and hopefully get on the plane with the rest of his teammates.
Well, let's hope he can do that as the second half is underway and Peter Street gives it back to Mitchell Hahn. High ball, tough one to mark. Bowden equal to the task. Long, strong lead from Rawlings, who's got to get into the game. Gee, poor kick, put Smith under pressure. He'll go long, smashes it forward. Darcy's got to beat two, and does. Little nudge out. He was the sandwich, meet the sandwich.
Do you think, Tony, that maybe you ruck Peter Street for as long as you can and let Darcy down there?
You don't even take him off the ground. They looked better in the second quarter when Street was in the ruck and then he had to come off the ground, looked like he injured himself. The body on body, just the strength of Darcy, that is the best setup they can have at the moment, KB, and not allow the Kangaroos to have any loose man in defence.
Darcy's already kicked two. Here's a very good kick for goal. And just the start the Bulldogs are looking for in the third term, but they've got to get some momentum and string some goals together. It's been the ability of the Kangaroos to quickly bounce back with another goal. Pretty straightforward kick. 8 goals for the season. You can make it 9. The Doggies have got the first of the second half.
Well, we saw in the rankings at half-time that Luke Darcy was on top of the rankings, matter of fact, and he has been the dominant big man around the ground. But they sent him the ball here. Look, they've got to take some risks too, and that was a risky kick, but there it is. Rowan Smith, who I said had to lift with Brad Johnson. Long kick, body on body. I'm just trying to look in the Kangaroos' defence now to see whether they've got a loose man in defence. If they're going to play that way, I'd rather play 7 forwards if I were the Western Bulldogs. Make a contest so no one can help out against Darcy. They've got 8 forwards at the moment, the Western Bulldogs, so I think that's a good ploy.
So Peter Street's going to do the ruck work, and Luke Darcy is just a ground level player. Maybe we might see him then just slip back to the forward line. He's got Lee Brown picking him up. Brad Johnson has had a very dirty first half. It's one of the stars for the Bulldogs. Now, if he can lift his ratings, along with likes of a couple of those young players, if they can do something like Gian Siracusa and Jordan McMahon, but that man on screen is so important to the Bulldogs. If he can have a big second half. Street getting his hands on the ball. Scotty West has been a lone hand around the packs. Johnson, so an early touch in this third term, and there's a strong grab. Courageous mark taken by Lee Colbert.
Well, there's no doubting this man's courage, isn't it? You don't know what's coming from behind you, and just kept his eye on the ball.
Gives it across to Brady Rawlings. Chris Grant attacked the ball, did it well to Robbins. Just sharing the ball around across half back. Standing his ground is Gilby. Been one of the Bulldogs' best today, Johnson. So all of a sudden, a couple of touches. There's Gian Siracusa and Cooney. Should have taken it. Bad time to fumble. Tries to feed the ball out to Bassett. Caught in the tackle by King. They are desperate, the Kangaroos. And we've got a ball up on centre wing.
Adam Cooney then, just maybe one of the little things in his game, but just below knee level, he doesn't bend over that well, and that showed then. He's, like I said, he's still a youngster learning the game, but had to take control there.
Kangaroos by 29 points. 14-7 plays 10-2. Street against Hale. Street wins out. Back to Gilby. Tumbles the ball forward. Again looking for Cooney. That's better hands. Robbins rockets the ball wide. Scotty West. Always cool under pressure. Can he set it up? The general, the playmaker, goes wide looking for Rawlings. And all of a sudden, something's happening for the Bulldogs. And Jade Rawlings will be shooting from around about 45 metres.
Well, it's all happening from the setup in the midfield. I think Peter Street's been fantastic, not just in the taps, but he's followed up a couple of times at ground level, and you called it, KB. But Adam Cooney, well done to the young fella. He learnt from the first mistake. He got control that time. It was nearly a similar ball, and that shows that he's thinking about his game. Jade Rawlings, well, big kick in the context of this game.
This man needs a shot in the arm with confidence. Comes in, Jade Rawlings. He likes it. He's got the clenched fist. And the Bulldogs have got the first two of the third term. And that's Rawlings' first of the match. And have a look at his kicking style. The ball was a little bit more vertical here, Tony. I'm not quite certain whether you'd noticed that.
Well, here's the build-up.
He does have the right hand around a bit too far, I reckon, but at least it was more vertical.
What are you saying, Kevin, that he's listening to what you're saying in the commentary of the first half?
I'm told he's plugged into sound. He's wired with sound to Fox Footy. It's going live right around Australia. And he's all wired up. Look at that. Straight off the boot, up goes the hand.
Well, we look at 5 minutes in the second quarter. I thought the Bulldogs were playing good football, and then, as we said, Peter Street came off the ground, KB. So all signs are that this young fellow, who we think has to stand up again, moved from Geelong, the Western Bulldogs, is controlling it at the moment.
Street, taken by Grant, though, going back. Simpson got it from Colbert, only as far as Gian Syracusa. Here go the Dogs once again. Rawlings comes late, gets it. Right on the 50. Darcy wants it in quickly to the goal square. Rawlings goes back, heads in that direction. Right on the line. Darcy couldn't take it. Still alive for the Bulldogs. Makepeace sits on it. We'll have a ball up.
Luke Darcy there, he just acknowledged Rawlings, saying, hey, I had that ball, good kick, and have a look, he had the run-up.
Oh, he did have it, didn't he?
Oh, he had it in his hands. Shannon Watt behind him.
Lucky not to get a free kick over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Ball up. Bowden trying to clear it out. Wells. Kick from Stevens, only as far as Street. Now, he should let it go for Gian Syracuse, and he does. Stepping beautifully. Straightening up and just off to the right. But the margin was 35 points at half-time. And very quickly, it's back to 22, and they've got some momentum.
Gee, that's classy, isn't it, Gian Syracuse?
Would have been nice to
finish. Yeah. It just really put the Kangaroos under the pump if he had converted there. But, gee, I love seeing those little snippets of players who can play the game. As I said, he needs more consistency over the duration of a game.
Well, he's got the talent as King. Hammers the ball back. Rawlings did well. Got rid of Hale. Chance now for Robbins, goes short. Finds Murphy on the stretch. So the Bulldogs have come out in this third term, and they're fired up.
Here's this man, Robert Murphy, and we're talking about kicks. Well, a player of his ilk here should convert from this distance with no pressure, and the Bulldogs are the Kangaroos are making a change. Looks like Daniel Wells off. And it's Eddie Sainsbury coming on. Big kick. This will really add to the pressure for the Kangaroos. They've come out here. I think they've been sitting back on their haunches a bit in the early part of this quarter.
This to get the Bulldogs within 16 points. Murphy runs to 47 and misses to the left. So a couple of bad misses by Gian Syracusa, and also Murphy just might halt some of that momentum.
Makepeace deciding what his options are right in front of him. Went for the big man. Mitchell Hahn got in front of Hale. Hahn just bangs it back to where it just came from. It might have enough. Darcy in front. Shannon Watt back to Makepeace. They're under pressure, the Kangaroos defence, but now Shannon Grant.
Got to make certain if you're a small player, get to the front of Luke Darcy because he's not going to get outmarked.
And again, that kick just had too much depth on it. Had to go through, or you'd put it to the top of the square.
Grant gets around, kicks long. Motlop couldn't quite take it. Mitchell Hahn again, spinning through, should give it off. Give it now. Going to get caught. West, Simpson right with him. Well done by Adam Simpson, forcing the boundary throw in.
I could see what Mitch Hahn was trying to do there, Matty. You're probably right, give it off straight away, but he's thinking we can just draw a player and run through the lines. Again, like I say, take some risk. Didn't come off on that occasion.
Boundary throw in, Street and Hale. Harris, Simpson, Grant. Midfielders combining. The run of David King. Long ball. Good punch from Brian Harris. Gian Syracusa again trying to step out of a tackle. Robbins. West cut it off, said, I'll take it, thanks. And then kicks it wide. Right on the line.
Good call by the umpire.
Part of the ball, the entire ball has to be over the line, so part of the ball just landing on the line.
This will be heartbreaking if the Kangaroos score a goal on this 4-day forward because the Western Bulldogs have dominated, had shots.
Well, they've had all the play in this third term. Ferrito. That's going nowhere.
A bit more desperation by the Bulldogs at ground level. Those sorts of contests early in the first half, the Kangaroos would win that.
It was
they get
2
too
to
many
1,
numbers.
Norman, 1 or too many numbers.
29 to 16 disposals to the quarter in favour of the Bulldogs. Gives you some sort of indication. Harvey has booted 3 goals. Gilby's been good for the Bulldogs. Here's Cooney. Got to keep his body right on line. Got to win the contest. Chance for King, pulled off the ball.
Good pressure.
Bulldogs are just bulldozing the ball forward. Eagleton pumps the ball long. Rawlings is playing in front. Big fist away. That time it was Brown taking down his Rawlings. It was a good fist away by Brown. And there's another good tackle. Front on.
Just the numbers at the ball for the Bulldogs in the middle of the ground kept the momentum going their way. They have lifted, no doubt.
They're within 21 points. They trailed by 35 points at half-time. Darcy has booted 3 goals. Watt somehow gets the ball across to Hale. Heads towards the boundary line. And we've got to toss back in. Just under 12 minutes left in this third term.
Well, they're playing on their terms now, the Bulldogs, KB. I'll look back again to the forward line of the Bulldogs. There is not one free Kangaroo player. That's how it has to be set up to keep the pressure on them.
Street got his hands on the ball. Simpson caught in the tackle by Gilby. He's having a terrific game. Robbins squeezed up on the boundary line, forced over for a toss back in.
Just been terrific. A terrific attitude so far in this third term by the Dogs as Jordan McMahon.
Matthew Robbins is playing on Brent Harvey. I like that matchup.
Back with the action and Simpson slides into it. Hahn, pickpocket, came out with a footy. Long ball. Faulkner. Hasn't had a lot of kicks. In fact, every time he kicks a goal. Brady Rawlings still with Brad Johnson. Kangaroos haven't scored in this term. The Western Bulldogs in this quarter inside 50s 8-1. Telling the story as they're still inside their own forward 50 with another ball up.
A couple of other signs too. You know, look, Brad Johnson, you think he's going to have a time in the game where he gets some dominance, and it hasn't happened so far, so that's a good sign for the Bulldogs in one way. He'll get his time. 26
players inside the forward 50. Gilby sets sail for home, top of the square. Darcy, Gian Syracusa over the top. It's still alive. Street. Oh. Kicked it out on the full in the end.
Hit the behind post.
Where did he come from? Ball's going back. The kick has to be taken again. It'll be Troy Makepeace. So often the designated kicker in these situations anyway. Going wide to King, who has some space. Long ball towards the run of Motlop. He's left Bassett behind, and unfortunately for the Kangaroos, the ball's gone out. because he was well cleared.
I'm just thinking, if Peter Street had the camp on the ground, KB, and Darcy has to go into the middle of the ground, would you put Chris Grant, who's playing on Corey McKernan now, down the forward line to keep that set up in the forward line, that height, and put the pressure still on?
Well,
because it might change, and you don't want that to happen.
It's worth a chance if that's the case, but I'd try and keep Street on as much as you could.
No, but he might need the rest, and that's what I'm saying. When that happens,
you don't need a rest. Take a deep breath and go again.
I'm with you, but
chance for the Bulldogs. Mitchell Hahn has been very good in this third term. Certainly has lifted his ratings. He's been hard at the ball. Cooney, desperation, tied up by King. Just under 10 minutes left in this third term. There's Adam Cooney. Started the game in the centre. He's had 8 possessions. 22 to Scotty West and Lindsay Gilbey with 15. Leading possession winners for the Bulldogs. 18 for Shannon Grant and 16 to Adam Simpson, the skipper. Grant's booted 3 goals. So's Darcy. There's Gilbey. That's his first mistake. That was a wild kick.
In danger. Free kick against Gilbey. Dropped the mark. And this is where it pays. If they score here, the Kangaroos, the Bulldogs are dominated.
Grant's got to go hard. He does well. Back on the stretch. Haven't scored in this term, the Kangaroos. Just 9 minutes left. And the Bulldogs have kicked 2-2. Gilbey playing the game of his life. To Johnson. He's got 2 to beat. Brown smashes the ball away for Rito. He's got the tagging job now on Scott West. Brady Rawlings comes away with the ball. Rockets the ball to King. The veteran on the edge of the centre square. Loves to run with the ball. Goes for the big torp. Deep into attack. Getting back was Brent Harvey. He's booted 3 goals. Might have been trying to play for a free kick on that occasion. Maybe hoping something was going to take place. What do you think, Tony?
You're kidding, KB. He wouldn't do it. He would not do it. Look, he's a professional. You've got to milk it as much as you can.
Still deep inside the forward line for the Roos. Hale. Street.
Oh, free kick off the ball. Gene Syracusa on Shannon Grant. You cannot afford to do that. You know, that is just soft in my thinking. If you're holding someone's jumper and you're 3 metres away from the ball, KB, and you don't even know where the ball's going to be tapped at on that occasion, you just cannot afford it. This will hurt. The Bulldogs have been that courageous in this quarter, harder than the Kangaroos, and a soft free kick like that really hurts the side.
Let's take a look.
Oh,
pulling him off the ball.
Yeah.
Not happy. Shannon Grant has a goal in the second term. Doesn't miss too many of these. And he doesn't. He gave it a chance. Gave it a bit of a hook. Gian Syracuse is still fuming about it. But it is the first score of the quarter for the Kangaroos. A bit of breathing space, back to a 27-point margin. Shannon Grant is 19th disposal.
Well, the umpires are more vigilant with off-the-ball incidents because, and I think we see here...
There it is.
There he is pulling him off the ball. I don't think Gian Syracuse can really complain about that.
Well, if you've got your arms around and wrapping someone around and you're off the ball, well, it's going to be paid against you if you're the aggressor. And like I said, I'm very soft. I don't think Peter Rowe would be happy with that when they've worked their way back into this game.
Kangaroos back to a 27-point lead. 3 goals to Motlop, 3 goals to Brent Harvey. And for the Bulldogs, Luke Darcy's got 3, 2 to Cameron Faulkner. So Bulldogs supporters are happy. They like that free kick, Scotty West. Eagleton has been very closely guarded today. He's been one of the guns for the Bulldogs this year. Street on the stretch, what a grab! Jack and the beanstalk.
I'll tell you what, David
One-hander.
David Hale isn't a small bloke, but this was well done. He has had a major impact in this third quarter, Peter Street. If it's not his tap work, he's now pushed forward. I don't know whether Darcy's going to go in the ruck. They might just swap them in the forward line, KB, keep them both on the ground.
Well, when you're that tall, if you can take a grab, why not? He's kicked 2 goals for the season. Peter Street. Can the Bulldogs hit back? From 40 metres out.
Well done.
He's happy. Bangs it through. And the Bulldogs keep on keeping on. Great kicking, 12-4.
Who said that?
I thought someone said they couldn't kick straight.
I think that was... Who was that?
Who's the kicking coach down there at Western Oval? He's doing a mighty job.
I think Randy Campbell brought that up, the inaccuracy before the game.
I did. I'll take responsibility of that. But Peter Street certainly hasn't got a problem. 3 out of 3 for him so far this year. And when you're 209 centimetres and you put your arm up and mark it, you're grabbing it out of the stratosphere.
Well, he's had, a couple of possessions and 5 or 6 hit-outs, but they have been very good. And now Darcy and Street in at the centre bounces. It's an amazing mix, this, KB, but they think it works. Who's going to go for the ruck?
The umpire wants to know who's going up. Street will, and Darcy's saying, well, come on, bounce it.
It's worked well for him because Darcy's been a good crummer at the centre square.
Hale, though. Clayton spinning out of trouble. Back to King, who's had a good third term. Well, Bassett could have marked it. Punches at 25 metres. Ferrito out to Clayton. Clayton short. Motlop. Good clean take below his knees. Clever kick to Stevens. And Street arrives late, but Stevens will line up well within range. He'll kick from about 40 metres out.
Well, KB, I don't know about that setup. You tell me. And look at Motlop here. Really good hands, clean hands, and the vision to know where his teammate was. Stevens on that occasion. If you can tell me how many centre bounces both Street and also Darcy rin at, and how many clearances they have over the end of the year, then we'll see if it works or not.
I think he might be their leader this year, Darcy.
Yeah, but that's when he's been rucking by himself.
Kick from Stevens has gone across the face. The ball is alive. Free kick. Jess Sinclair underneath all that. Rowan Smith, similar to Daniel Gian Syracuse a minute ago, livid. Well, so Sinclair's going to line up, and there's a bit of mouthing off going. We've got a 50-metre penalty, so he can mark it down now.
Well, he goes to the front of the square now, so he can't miss.
I think the vision says it all there. The umpire said no, stop, and he kept going and mouthing off, and you paid the price. Well, it's a certainty now. I think it would have been a goal anyway.
Yeah, true. Sinclair to finish off. It's goal for goal here at Manuka.
But Tony, once the free kick has been paid, there's no point in saying anything because, look, we have seen players miss, 5 or 6 metres out on a bit of an angle.
Yes.
But I tell you what, I've never seen anyone miss when the man is standing on the goal line.
And I've never seen an umpire reverse the free kick anyway, KB.
No.
I used to give him a mouthful in my time, but I thought that was impossible. At the free kick's there, you can't, even though a little bit soft, the free kick's there. You can't argue with it. And we just watched the vision. The umpire's there. Rowan Smith, yeah, well, that's shocking. It's not a great decision up, and okay, Rowan, come back and pay the price.
Yes, we see there's always a chance he can miss, but he can't miss from there. So still a bit of a grin on the face there of Jess Sinclair. They lead now by 27 points, the Kangaroos. So a lot of hard work undone by a couple of free kicks to the Kangaroos in this third term, going short. Here's Sinclair again, sliding out in front of Rowan Smith.
Well, no one could stop that kick. That was beautiful. I think it was Rawlings on the outer wing.
Yep.
Fantastic kick. And I don't care how quick Rowan Smith is, no one, not in the best fullback in the history of the game, would have stopped that.
Motlop is taking a breather. Daniel Wells is coming on.
What do you do if you kick this goal? If you Sinclair, you kick the goal, you just walk up to Smith and say, oh, well, that's 2 in a minute. How do you feel now?
Well, you might have said that, Tony.
Well, I would. Because, he had free kick, he deserved the free kick.
Never treat your opponent with disrespect.
Well, no one else hears it except him.
Sinclair from 40 metres out on this raking left foot.
Now, if I was Rowan Smith, I'd run up and say, gee, that was weak under pressure.
He puts it through for a behind.
Mitch Hahn's come from the ground. Gee, I think he's had a very good third quarter, Mitch Hahn. And Boyd's on for the Western Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs look for Street. It's in the centre of the ground. Pounced on by Bassett. Tries to find Grant. Beaten this time and taken away from Makepeace to King. To McKernan. He's on the centre wing. He goes short. They've created the loose player. Adam Simpson does it well. The skipper drags the ball back. Wells! Straight off the bench. Grant pulled down on the tackle. They'll pile on top and we've got a ball up 40 metres out from the Kangaroos' goal.
Well, here's the change now. Peter Street coming from the ground. Luke Darcy will go in the ruck, no doubt. I don't know. I think Benny Harrison can play on Corey McKernan in defence and keep Chris Grant in the forward line. I know he's done a fairly good job, but you've got to kick goals to win the game. even for the last 20 minutes, so they get control of it.
Wells got the tap out. It was pinched by Gian Syracuse. Gives it across the west. He's caught in trouble. Bassett, under pressure, just hammers the ball out towards the boundary line. Boyd's just come off the interchange bench for the Bulldogs. And there he is. Peter Street just having a conversation on the phone.
Full credit to Dean Lateline with his defensive midfield. We've had Nathan Eagleton. Stevens has been with him all day, just the 3 disposals. And we've touched on Brad Johnson a couple of times with Brady Rawlings. He's won that battle. West. Centre half forward. Ball's alive. Stevens. Was looking for Colbert, but Shannon Watt got in the way. Here's Petrie. Overran it. So did Grant. Oh, Grant went to ground. Petrie stayed on his feet. Oh, Sainsbury went without it. Twice. Ferrito. Good take. Slaps it back. David King. He's everywhere at the moment. Good kick. And Tony mentioned it in the first half. He can find the body. And this is Daniel Wells.
Well, David King has just showed a class act. They've got 3 or 4 fumbles in about 20 metres of play, picks it up one hand and hits someone Wells on the chest from 35 metres, and the ball never got more than a metre above ground level.
8 disposals for the quarter, and this is a similar position to where Daniel Wells won the game against Carlton, isn't it? About 50 metres out this time. Centering ball.
Oh, well done.
Gian Syracuse, the clever spoil. Here's Harvey. And we have another boundary throw in. Just over 3 minutes remaining. And for all the good work by the Western Bulldogs early in this quarter, they've only dragged the margin back by 7 points.
Yeah, it is a shame, really, because they have dominated the quarter. They're stabilised now, the Kangaroos, starting to win a little bit more around the midfield.
Darcy with McKernan. Darcy, West was his target. He'll get a free kick.
Geez, a great player, Scotty West.
Always head over the ball.
Yeah, and I don't know whether he's got just a communication with Luke Darcy, but he knows where he's hitting the ball. He's a magnificent reader of the play.
Well, you go back to his communication with Scotty Wind, it was just as good.
Yep.
In fact, today he passes Scotty Wind on the all-time games for the Western Bulldogs.
Oh, great effort.
Into 8th spot. A wonderful player with 5 bests and fairest. Only Nathan Buckley at Collingwood has more.
Well, if he gets more games than Dougie Hawkins, Dougie will be very grumpy on grumpy old men.
Wednesday night at 8:30pm, Kevin. Boyd. Out wide, Gian Syracuse. Lifted his rating. Rawlings or Grant. Brown did well with a spoil. Strong spoil. Making a statement once again.
I thought Chris Grant had pushed forward then as a permanent forward, but Petrie ran down the ground. And there he is, Scotty Wine. What a fantastic player. Brownlow medalist.
Yes.
And Leon Cameron standing beside him.
He wasn't bad either, KB.
Coaches.
Robbins. And that's out of bounds on the full. Brent Harvey will bring the ball back in.
Done a good job, Matty Robbins, since he's gone on to Brett Harvey.
Yeah, it's been good, hasn't it?
He's super quick, Matty Robbins.
David Halen a spot above it.
Well, Brent Harvey, of course, kicked 3 goals, all coming in the first quarter. Did set it up for the Kangaroos. Big pack of players. Great reading off the hands by Simpson. Now he wants to set it up. Just drew an opponent to Makepeace, who can use the ball very well. He can go all the way, Makepeace. Dropping in short, and Lindsay Gilbey, who along with West has been their best player. He's been very good today. Goes wide, finds Jordan McMahon. Finds Harrison. He's on centre wing. He's looking for Rawlings out in front. Closing quickly was Brown, thumped it away. Ferrito is a handy player. Now the run comes again. Harvey takes him on. He's on the charge. It's showtime. Lights, camera, action. Harvey going all the way. Take a bow. Take a curtain call. What a goal.
Well, he's put in his entry for goal of the year.
Oh. He's got 4.
Who said Matthew Robbins is doing a good job on Brent Harvey?
Well, he was. He had done a good job.
No wonder you got the second Collingwood. You've got no idea, Tony.
Look at the timing of this run from Brent Harvey. And I'm just wondering where Matty Robbins is now. But, gee, could have chased harder Matty Robbins on that occasion. Just, he's taken him on. He said, well, can we bury the Bulldogs in one individual part of play? And I'll take it on myself. Well, that's why he's an All-Australian, isn't it?
He usually does the bow and arrow trick too, doesn't he?
That was a fist in the air.
Absolute brilliance from Brent Harvey. That will be seen many times before the end of the season as one of the contenders for goal of the year. The margin is back out to 34 points. Excellent second half of this quarter by the Bulldogs. West to Faulkner. Rawlings. Brown once again. Gee, he's been good. Colbert under the pump. Harrison the tackle. Colbert throws it back towards David King. Has a little bit of time. Stevens needs to measure the kick to Simpson. Gian Siracusa did well. Went back, forced the contest, won the free kick. Good courage. It was 2-on-1. Now he spots up Faulkner. Too far out to score. A bit of a jig. Now the short pass. That's just 15 metres. Robert Murphy. High ball. Chance for Harrison. Missed. 12-5 now the Bulldogs. Down by 33. Late in this term. And Mitchell Hahn, as Tony mentioned, that's a good contest from him, but he's pretty sore at the moment.
Ooh.
Lee Colbert. Mitchell Hahn has a real problem with that right shoulder. Luckily, three-quarter time's not too far away. Grant, too strong for Petrie. Faulkner's in the middle once again. Can go. Thinks about Gian Siracusa. Doesn't want him. Inside 50. Ball still alive. Another behind.
I'll tell you a player, Matty, who has really stabilised for the Kangaroos is David King.
Fantastic third term.
His third term's been brilliant. Either kicking in, cross half back. 16 possessions so far, and he's got the ball in his hands right now. And there's Mitch Hahn in a bit of trouble with that shoulder.
So after half-time, the Western Bulldogs came out charging. They got it back towards 3 goals, but it's been a good second half of that quarter by the Kangaroos. And at three-quarter time, they lead by 32 points here on Fox Footy.
It has always been more than just another game.
When you play derbies, it's for a bit more than 4 points.
Bragging rights are on the line and the crosstown rivals are ready.
Oh, it is a monster!
Tonight, the Sizzler at Subiaco is back. The Eagles and the Dockers battle it out in the 19th Western Derby. And only Fox Footy has every quarter commercial free.
Yes, you can!
Get your smash-up derby tonight with the West Coast Eagles and Fremantle on Fox Footy Channel.
Ciao. See ya. Loving your hair. Bye.
She can't afford that. What? On her salary? Looks European, doesn't it?
Yes, no wonder he bought it for this time. Oh, he probably thinks it makes her look more sophisticated.
So 10 seconds left and the crowd going, Gearbo, Gearbo, 10, 9, I'm flying down the sideline, right, I'm flying down.
All right.
And they're like, Gearbo,
Two is new. What mates do.
Clean up at Bunny's Warehouse with the lowest prices every day. Go-Grow seedlings, $165 per punnet. Electric blower vacuum, $59.90. Steel screen door, just $89. 9 kilogram gas cylinder, $38.73. 3-piece paintbrush set, $2.90. And we hold how-to classes every weekend. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bunny's Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
When you're on an important call, researching on the internet, or just can't get to the phone, Telstra's free Home Messages 101 can take your messages for you. To turn it on and to get your messages, just dial 101 and follow the voice prompts. Oh, and it's also great for when you pop out for a stroll. Telstra Home Messages 101. It's free. Dial 101 from home and follow the voice prompts to turn it on.
Live Monday and fresh from his big clash against the Lions, the boys welcome Brett Voss on the couch. The high-flying Saint will discuss his incredible form, St Kilda's success, and of course, brotherly love. Join Mike, Robert and Jared live and exclusive with special guest Brett Voss, Monday night on the couch.
Join us on Wednesday night, one of the greats from Collingwood, Len Thompson's partner in crime, Bob.
Not that millionaire Wayne Richardson.
Plus, the wizard from Ballarat.
What, the left-footed rover, Johnny Bird?
Johnny Bird, a star.
Grumpy Old Men, Wednesday nights on Fox Footy Channel.
He's a handy player. Now the run comes again. Harvey takes him on. He's on the charge. It's showtime. Lights, camera, action. Harvey going all the way. Take a bow. Take a curtain call. What a goal.
Brent Harvey with his contender for the Toyota Goal of the Year. And it's a 32-point margin for the Kangaroos. They led by 35 at half-time. They're in control. That is the contract ahead for the Western Bulldogs to pull off a remarkable recovery. See what can happen in their camp. Leon Cameron, their assistant coach, is with Troy Love.
Now, Leon, a great fight back that quarter. The boys got a lot of faith they can still win this game.
Oh, look, sure. I mean, we got ourselves back into the game then by winning the contested ball, but we've got to put it on the scoreboard as well. So we won the quarter, so that's a positive. So it's just a matter of them running out the game now.
Now, has the option of moving Chris Grant up forward been thrown around?
Oh, we've talked about it, but we thought he obviously steadied the ship a little bit down back, and forwards worked okay. As I said before, we just got to get a bit of reward for effort and put it on the scoreboard.
And what about Mitchell Hahn's shoulder? Is he okay to come back on?
Yeah, no, he's fine. Mitch, he was very, very good. He got us going in that quarter. He won a lot of contested ball and actually ran a lot more. So, he'll be right to go in this quarter.
Thanks very much, Leon.
Yes, it's still in it, the margin 32. So they'll have to get going early in this final term, and time for us to check once again on the game at the MCG between Essendon and Sydney. If you don't want to know the score, you can look away now. Tony Shaw is with Kevin Bartlett and myself upstairs. And Tony, what do the Bulldogs have to do? I mean, Nathan Eagleton and Brad Johnson not getting any ball.
Yeah, Rawlings done a great job on Johnson. Look, they've got to start the quarter like they started then, but the multiple goals have to come quicker, Matty. And for mine, they'd probably go with the same mix. I look down the boundary line. There's Mitchell Hahn now. Well, his shoulder might be right. It's heavily strapped, but gee, he was very good in that third quarter. That's not great for the Western Bulldogs. But they had to start with the same intensity. I think they had to kick the first 3 goals within 10 minutes of this quarter to have any chance of winning this game.
Patrick Bowden also on the bench with McMahon, Bassett, Street and Cooney. Street has been very important.
Yeah, Street's in the centre of the ground now, and look, to me, he's been the one. He was fantastic in that third quarter. When he was on the ground in the second quarter until he hurt himself, they were back into the game also. So you've got to stay with that mix, see if you can see the quarter out. Luke Darcy's in the centre of the ground. He'll push forward. And again, the Kangaroos, the Western Bulldogs, won't allow them to have a loose man in defence. They're trying to play one-on-one.
Kangaroos looking for their 4th win of the season. They're in control at the moment. The Western Bulldogs searching for their 2nd. Grant wins the clearance, gets it forward, and that was Shannon Grant falling in the arms of Chris Grant. Kick, gee, had to be spot on. It was. Gian Siracusa, power, in trouble. Back to Gian Siracusa, West running hard. Long ball, where's Rawlings? Going back, Harrison, Johnson, quick give, Eagleton, clever, but caught. Rawlings, the tackler, did well.
Well, I don't like signs like this. As I said, I didn't think they had a loose man in defence now. The Kangaroos have, and it looks like Chris Grant or Brian Harris, a loose man for the Bulldogs. That just releases the pressure of the Kangaroos, I think.
Brown just winning it down in front.
Well, it does leave Chris Grant loose across half-back, so he's probably got to be a little bit smart at times to filter down into the forward line.
I'd go up to half forward. 1 kick behind play, not 2.5 like he's playing at the moment. You've got to kick goals to win the game, KB, not save it.
Lee Brown there again with Adam Simpson and Darcy the tackler. And I guess from the point of view of the Kangaroos, they won't mind if it's a slow quarter and things get bottled up. They've got the lead. It's
Up
to the Western Bulldogs.
You can see Chris Grant now. That's where he's got to go. Push up the ground. Petrie will go with him. And that means Brian Harris, if he's loose, he's got to push up the ground too.
Now here goes Gian Siracusa. Well, I thought he was going to go. He went to ground. Wells, quick give, Jones. No one tackled him. Out in front of McKernan. Somehow maintained possession. No one came to tackle him. High ball, not a good kick. Still going though. Motlop pinches it from Smith. Oh, it doesn't come back up. There's been a few of those today, isn't there?
I was just going to say that. Players have bounced the ball. It's very lushy out there when we're on the ground in the pre-match. And, yeah, the ball has not bounced to them. You have to really slam it into the turf.
Well, Brent Harvey didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Boundary throw-in on 50. So a chance for the Kangaroos. And we see Motlop with the ball not coming up. Here's Harvey. Just paddling the ball along in front. And he's got the free kick. Now, there's Motlop and Boyd, and Shannon Grant, and Gian Siracusa, and Harris, and Petrie. He's over the fence. It's like World Championship Wrestling. He bounced back. All we needed was someone hit him overhead with a chair. Where's the iron bar that comes out of the shorts?
I'll tell you what, Mick Malthouse went berserk last week about players acting. That was one of the greatest dives you will see. Look at that. And the umpire's fallen for this, KB. Now, this is what's got to be taken out of the game. There was no contact to the head at all. And I agree totally with Mick Malthouse. Players like this, all right, you milk it, but gee, when umpires fall for it, that's not on.
There it goes. There's Petrie outside the ring.
Outside the ring, and there was no turnbuckle to save him.
No, and his tag team partner didn't touch hands neither, so that's illegal.
Did nothing.
I think he's a great player, Brent Harvey, but he's going to get a reputation a couple of times today. He's taken better dives than Greg Laganis.
Well, this is going to be one of those check side kicks. He's kicked 4 goals. He can do anything, Brent Harvey. He's missed.
And that's one to talk about.
So you don't reckon he got hit high?
No, he got hit down the shoulder, down his body, and he just... Look at him. He don't... Oh, KB, come on. Have a look at this. Come on. He got bumped on the side.
No, I reckon
that was
you're right,
embarrassing.
Tony. No, well picked up, Tony.
Back with the action, gentlemen. We can talk about that on the couch on Monday night as Faulkner goes long. Darcy is struggling to find it here at the moment. Hooks it in. Want to be careful. Umpire's letting it go. Eventually we have a ball up. 33 points. Kangaroos lead. Inside the forward 50 for the Dogs. Lee Brown wins the knock. Gian Siracusa. Good to see Mitchell Hahn back out on the ground. Had a bit of work on that shoulder. Quick give. Simpson got it to King. Petrie trying to keep it moving forward. Does so. Gets about 40 metres up the line.
Okay, but you mentioned about Chris Grant and Brian Harris. They're playing 2-on-1 against Petrie now. It's time to go forward. I don't think you can win the game even having a loose man. You can set up to the midfield. But for mine, either Grant or Harris has to go forward. The Kangaroos have got a loose man in defence, which is really going to hurt you. They'll save the game, and the Western Bulldogs can't win it.
Street with McKernan. McKernan winning down towards Simpson. Gian Siracusa. Now, that might be too far. It is. That's out on the full. He's had a lot of the ball of late. Wells in some space. This could be very dangerous.
Take it all away.
With pace, long kick. Sinclair late, but coming in. Harris, too strong. Quick movement of the ball. Gilby. He's got Chris Grant running for him. Now he should move on. Chip to West. Eagleton. Was an option. Power was the other one. Sam Power into some space. Kicks to the goal square. Brad Johnson back there one-on-one. It's over the back. Harrison needs some support. Gets a call to Rawlings. Round the body. He has kicked it. Second goal to Jade Rawlings. A timely one for the Bulldogs. I don't know about his set shots. He snaps it quickly.
Back to 27 points.
And that man again, Scotty West, Gilby, he's been probably their second best player on the ground for the Western Bulldogs. Scotty West, best on ground by far, in the middle of the ground. Quick handball over, power, that's what he can do. He's an 80-metre player. How he can run the ball and also kick it long, and that's what happened. So, yep, we're still in with the ball game here. It's still taken them nearly 7 or 8 minutes of the quarter to kick that one goal. They needed another 2 very quickly.
2 goals to Jade Rawlings. The Bulldogs now trail by 27 points. Scotty West has possession number 30. 16 kicks, 14 handballs. So Street comes charging in, taken by Mitchell Hahn, has come off the bench and pumps the ball inside 50. Cooney's forced under the ball. Colbert running with the fly of the ball.
Done.
Johnson gives it across. Gian Syracuse kicks a goal. The Bulldogs just might be inspired. He's got 2. He's actually lifted his rating since half-time, Gian Syracuse, and all of a sudden, the Bulldogs might have a sniff.
Well,
Troy Luff might be able to tell us, is there any breeze going right of screen, Troy?
Mate, not really. It's actually died down. If you have a look at the trees now, they're not moving at all.
well, Brad Johnson's had 7 possessions for the game, and this is what a thinking man footballer can do. You're out of the game, think about the team. How smart was that? What a great play. He took the ball, he was going to be tackled, pushed it over in the Gian Syracuse's path, and he finishes off. That's very smart play. You love to see that in the footy field when everybody says there's a lot of athletes playing the game these days.
Well, they got it to 21 points halfway through the third term. That's the margin again. Will the Kangaroos steady again?
Centre-bounce clearances.
Has won the free kick. He's been very important for the Dogs. Long ball again. Rawlings stood his ground, couldn't mark it. Faulkner for number 3. Oh! He's got it. 3 goals in a minute to the Western Bulldogs. They're pumped. They've got the momentum happening, and Cameron Faulkner in his debut game has kicked 3 goals.
What a great debut. 3 goals in your first game. It's all happening with Peter Street and Mitchell Hahn in the middle of the ground. Faulkner's had 8 possessions, 8 kicks and kicked 3 goals. That was a great crumbing goal. Wasn't really front and centre. The ball spills to the side of the pack. But I think it's starting in the middle of the ground, not from half-back. It's Peter Street, Scotty West and Mitch Hahn. Their centre-bounce clearances are just starting to get them back in the game.
Well, the Bulldogs trail by 35 points at the main break. 32 points at three-quarter time. There's the coach. They now trail by just 15. Fox Footy live and exclusive right around the country. And Peter Street again will try and get his hands on the ball. Mitch Hahn's been terrific from these centre square clearances. Here comes Darcy. Bulldogs inside 50. They need a loose ball. They need a crummer. This man's booted 3 goals. Faulkner goes to ground, makepeace with good clean hands. Gets the ball across to King. Happy to drill it over the line to Brady Rawlings. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs. Just over 15 minutes left in this final quarter at Manuka Oval. Brad Johnson on screen. Not his best day, but a terrific tap on. A few moments ago, set up a goal. Darcy getting his hands on the ball. Colbert burrows his head down. Coming through is Scotty West. Burrows in after the ball once more. An inspiration to the Bulldogs, Scotty West today. And a ball up. There's the stats. 32 Scotty West, coming off a fantastic game last week of 27 possessions again. There's Simpson on 23. He's coming off a best last week of 30 as well. Chance for the Bulldogs. Ball up inside 50. Darcy to Harrison. Taken away by West. Does a 360. Back to Gian Syracuse. West on hands and knees. Back to Hahn. Great smother off the boot. Chance for Faulkner. The young man. Can he keep control? He can. Kept his footing. Grant gets the ball back. Gian Syracuse. Hahn just couldn't quite tickle it. A touch of the fumbles. Faulkner, the chaser and the tackler. Loose ball. Grant takes it across half back for the Kangaroos. Cooney chases hard. Goes wide looking for Jones. Flows in quickly. That time was Harris. Pounced on by Wells. Can he set it up? Great play by Harris. The Bulldogs across half back with great spirit. Mitchell Hahn stands and delivers a high ball. Eagleton running with the fly of the ball. Couldn't take it. In the back. Not paid to the Bulldogs. Faulkner, they're getting very tired. Back to Harrison. To the square. Harrison kicks a goal. Can you believe this? What a comeback by the Bulldogs. Ben Harrison has kicked a goal, and the Bulldogs are within streets.
Take a break, KB. How much pressure was on that last 2 minutes, Tony?
Oh, it was fantastic play. They really want this game done, and the Western Bulldogs all came off the middle. I thought Harris was fantastic across half-back. Mitch Hahn again got involved. He had a few short players on, but to his credit, he kicked the ball into the area where he could score goals, a couple of quick handballs, and there's Harrison, who's had a quiet day, but a great snap over the shoulder. Good work by Darcy in the square, too, to shepherd it through.
9-point margin, 4 goals to a point in this last term, and they're going again. Murphy, sidestepping, long ball. Still at ground level. Eagleton. Wasn't to be, but they're just doing all the attacking at the moment. Still 13 minutes remaining.
Well,
plenty of time for both teams to kick plenty of goals.
Well, they've lost 3 games this year by 2 goals or less, the Bulldogs.
Yep.
They've been so competitive.
And there's Street punching it forward. Harvey. Scott West leads Ferrito in the race for the ball. They were even handballing to him before when he's on the ground. So here, have another one. What a performance by Scott West, and the acknowledgement from Daniel Giansiracusa, who has had an excellent second half. McKernan in the ruck now with Darcy. Over the top came Simpson. Grant gave it back to him. A headlock from Giansiracusa. Umpire's still going to bounce that up. Hasn't gone out of play. Wonderful start to this final term by the Western Bulldogs. Some great pressure footy.
That's like schoolboy umpiring, isn't it? He comes in the schoolyard and said, move out of the way, boys, go back to your position. I'm going to bounce the ball.
And no one pays any attention.
No.
Harvey breaks the tackle and kicks long. Chris Grant with Petrie down at ground level. Wells didn't get it this time. Petrie, good pick up. Murphy was awake to it.
There's been some intensity from the Bulldogs in this final quarter.
Here's Brent Harvey. He's gone down again. We'll talk about that a bit more, Tony, shortly. Corey Jones outside the 50, long ball. Sinclair underneath it. The spoil came. Who's at ground level? Power. Smith. Sinclair. Clayton. Still Sinclair. Mitchell Hahn trying to rob it again.
And Motlop's done his shoulder. He's hurt his shoulder, I think.
And just heading towards the goal square at the moment.
And Brian Harris has gone with him. That's not a great matchup, you wouldn't think, for the Western Bulldogs. Motlop would be too quick, but Harris better in the air. And there it is. Just there. Put the hand down on the ground and the shoulder might have just come out a little
Maybe
bit.
Hope extended the something there. We'll follow that shortly. We're back with Robbins, Jones, Grant, Sinclair. They're going backwards, but they still maintain possession. Clayton gets a call out the side. Great spoil by Murphy. Grant was within range, and he could have banged it through. And Motlop's coming off. That's a real problem for the Kangaroos.
Well, it looked like he put his... Here's a replay. He put his hand on the ground, Matty, didn't he? It wasn't there. Just when he put his hand on the ground, maybe the elbow or the shoulder popped out.
Shoulder. Oh, gee.
No contact at all, but it was all trying to get balanced with his hand on the ground.
Straight down into the room, so a bad sign for Daniel Motlop. Getting pretty dark here at Manuka. Not so the game. It's alive and well. Look out. Simpson. Great smother by Power. It's still alive for Sinclair. Smith diving in. Free kick. The dive from Smith. Will advantage be paid? It has. It's a goal. And now Smith's got a problem. Both teams committed to the contest. Both diving in hard, but paying the penalty at the moment. A bit of breathing space, Tony, for the Kangaroos.
Well, he was unlucky, wasn't he, in that Rowan Smith, the ball came forward, he missed the mark, and then, of course, there you can see Rowan Smith on the ground trying to make up for the missed mark. The ball spills out to Simpson, and he kicks a goal on the advantage from the umpire.
Well, it was a brave attempt by Smith too. He just nearly hung on to that mark. So the Kangaroos by 15 points. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs. Rowan Smith. It was a hectic and heated couple of minutes.
Great punch.
Thump forward. That's a 45-metre punch. Chance now for Johnson. Can he kick a goal? 45 metres out. Bending it back. Chris Johnson. And a comeback goal. The Bulldogs won't let go here at Manuka Oval. They are not going to go away today, the Bulldogs. And that man has really struggled all day. He's done a couple of great things in this last quarter.
What about
great
this
tap
punch?
on. This is the biggest punch ever in the history of AFL football. Look at that.
Punch of the year.
All my handballs combined never went that far.
Well, 3 of my kicks never went that far.
And what a great finish.
That's his first kick for the quarter. He's a dangerous player. He set up a goal before with a brilliant tap on, using his brain on that occasion. Fantastic conversion.
Dean Laidley with plenty of work to do still in the Kangaroos box as Gian Siracusa to Murphy, sidestepping, high ball. One for the courageous Bowden. Johnson again. Cooney caught.
He's just got to learn, I think, Cooney, to push off stronger too.
Yeah.
Just push off stronger. Put your hand in their chest and just spin yourself away.
Well, we're jumping up and down in this box, KB, because everything's lifted, but he's also got to get his arms up in the air when he's going to get tackled to get the handball off. But he'll learn that with the game. A lot of pressure out there.
Fantastic atmosphere at Manuka in this tight last term as Simpson gets it forward, only as far as Scott West, who's been outstanding. The kick goes, slides off the side to Murphy.
I don't think it did slide off. I reckon he saw
Vision.
it.
I think he was going for Harrison.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, I know, but I think he was going for Harrison. But Murphy has a real chance. He's kicked 1-1, and that second set shot of his, he would have been disappointed with that. A chance to atone. 33 disposals for West. Murphy to get the Bulldogs within 3 points. They've kicked 5 already for the quarter. Right on the 50. And he make it 6. Oh, you'd better believe it. Goal umpire didn't move. Murphy's got 2. The Doggies are rampant. The Doggies are within a kick.
Look, what a great comeback by this team, the Western Bulldogs. They have kicked 6 goals in this quarter to 1 to get them back in the game. And, of course, we know the silky skills of Murphy. He would have been disappointed with his last miss, but that just split the centre. We have got a ball game. And I tell you what, the Kangaroos at the moment, they need a spark. I don't know who it can be, but someone needs to mark the ball in their forward line if they get it there.
This is a killer diller at Manuka Oval on Fox Footy. Live and exclusive right around the country. The Bulldogs have come from 32 points down. They trail by just 3. Harrison gets the ball to ground level. King has to kick hurriedly. Chance for the Bulldogs. And Mitch Harner's marked. He's had a crook shoulder. He's been on and off the ground. He's been inspirational in the second half as well. Can the Bulldogs hit the front? Can they take a mark? A big pack of players. Cooney, the young man, the $1 million man, the Faulkner. He's been at 3. He's caught in the tackle. Couldn't get the handball away. He's been pinged.
Well, Cooney learnt, didn't he, KB? He got his hands clear a lot quicker, and Faulkner did it. So hopefully next chance he gets, and he will get another chance, he'll learn from that.
Makepeace finds the loose player in Simpson, the skipper. Can he slow things down? Take a breath for the Kangaroos. The Bulldogs are within 3 points. Grant, the skipper.
Gee, I know you've got to win the game, but sometimes you've got to make a decision. Chris Grant, confidence in his ability, maybe punch the ball back 30 yards and say, oh, this is disciplined stuff. But they're trying to win the game. They've got to get a goal in front here.
That punch we saw from Luke Darcy before, we'll speak about that for a long time. Kangaroos just sharing it now. Daniel Wells, maybe a bit of magic, goes wide looking for McKernan. Nearly took a one-hander. Follows up, caught by Gian Siracusa in the tackle. Good effort by Siracusa. Gilby's been outstanding today for the Bulldogs. Kept them in the game in the first half. High ball, Grant makes ground and takes a chest mark. And the loose player is looking for Clayton. Took it on the half volley. McKernan closing quickly. That was Harris. He did well. Gilby goes to ground. Jones was a tackler. And we've got a ball up for the Kangaroos just 40 metres out from goal.
Well, Chris Grant, we talked about that punch back, where that boundary throw-in came from. They kicked the ball forward, the Kangaroos got in there forward 50. If you punch it the other way, they're going to get to half, or nearly the wing.
Here's the skipper, Simpson. A high ball. An important Jones running with the flight, not paid. Didn't quite hold it. Grant somehow just tickled the ball along the ground. Going in hard was Makepeace. Take a bow. Tremendous play. Clayton bounces to his feet. Gets it back. They backtrack. Retreat. Conceded ground. Standing his ground was Stevens. Goes wide. Wells has got it. A dangerous player. Wells sets it up. McKernan straight through the fingertips. Sinclair goes to ground. Mitchell Hahn will keep his body on line. Scotty West, the playmaker, the general, has been magnificent. Possession number 35. And Simpson, a captain's mark. Back to Colbert. Quick change of pace, finds Clayton.
Well, it might be a change of pace. The game has it. Gee, the intensity is incredible.
Geez, we're seeing some heroics all around the ground, aren't we? And it looks like Corey Jones has come off the boundary line. He's come straight off the ground, so he won't go back on the ground at all. Hasn't moved off the interchange.
So Ferrito's on, but more importantly, Daniel Wells has the footy. He's marked inside 50. Very important, this. We saw him kick that wonderful goal to win the game against Carlton with the pressure right on the 50-metre line. Similar distance, almost directly in front. An easier kick, in fact.
The Kangaroos told us after that game that he was the go-to man, that if you wanted to kick a goal,
well, there's Corey Jones. He's out for the day.
Well, he walked straight over the boundary line, so he cannot come back on the ground.
Yep. Wells from 45 gets underneath it. It's going left. It hits the post. There's still less than a kick in it. Problems for the Roos on the bench. Motlop off. Jones off. Score check. 18-10, 18-6. 5 minutes remaining. Rowan Smith.
Will he belt it long, Tony?
He wants to go long.
I'm looking in the middle. Mitch Hahn's in the centre of the ground. Goes to Darcy.
Darcy!
Oh, great grab.
Supermark.
Hahn's on.
Hahn is the target. Gets a favourable bounce. Oh, he's running out of petrol.
Guess who's there to help him?
The unleaded man. The premium man, Scott West.
Just had to do a little bit better there, Mitch Hahn. Just a little bit better. Kick the ball long.
4.5 minutes remaining. Boundary throw in. Out of side. Darcy and Petrie. Wells. It's been good. Dribbles it forward. Wastes a little bit of time. What a comeback by the Bulldogs. Gee, they love a close game, don't they?
Well, look, they're missing 3,000 members from last year. If you're a Bulldog member or supporter, go out and buy yourself a membership ticket and get on board, because this side's got some heart.
And they're value for money, KB.
And still at it. Robbins. Clock ticking. Six goals straight. Hasn't their kicking been super? In this quarter to 1 goal 1. Mitchell Hahn. Here's Harvey. Doesn't get a kind bounce. Cooney arrives. Harvey still with it. Goes back to King. Steps around and then drives it back to where it just came from.
It's out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Stepped over the line.
Inside the last 4 minutes. It's a thriller here at Manuka.
Just at the moment, all the stop plays, the ball, when it goes up, the Bulldogs are punching the ball as far as they can, KB, but then you saw Brent Harvey 10 metres off the pack waiting for it. Maybe got to vary it just a little bit. That's all. Couple now and then.
Petrie and Darcy.
Oh, well done.
Wells. Good tackle by Murphy. Loose ball. Gian Syracusa got his hand out. Taken by Stevens, being pinched. Big play here. Rowan Smith. He's got Sinclair to beat. Paddles the ball long in front. Didn't take control. Sees the ball over the line for a toss back in, just 20 metres around from the Kangaroos goal. They lead by 4 points, 18-10, 1-18. Plays 18-6, 1-14. They led by 32 points at three-quarter time. The Bulldogs, in an heroic last quarter, are within 4 points. Petrie takes the front position, picks up the crumb, quick snap, bouncing. Across the face of goal and through for a minor score. They lead by 5.
Luke Darcy somehow here. I think Luke Darcy has to get on the end of this ball. Hopefully up the corridor, but Drew Petrie's there. They're played on. Oh.
It was a desperate lunge by Gian Syracusa. Couldn't take it. It's 70 metres from the Kangaroos' goal. It's on the half-back flank for the Bulldogs. 3.5 minutes left. Darcy over the back. Mitch Hahn. He's got a heart as big as a cabbage, I reckon. Goes the half forward looking for Harrison. Taken away by Colbert from King. Here's Wells. He looks fresh. He looks fresh, doesn't he? He's got spring in the feet.
14th possession.
Goes short. Harvey marks. He's kicked 4 goals. A team lifting goal in the third term. You would have thought it could have sealed it for the Kangaroos. But the Bulldogs have been supreme in this last quarter. Kangaroos trying to hang on. Well, he kicks it back 35-40 metres to centre-half back to Brown. So it's a different tact. Goes wide. Getting to the ball. Johnson on centre wing. Kicks the space. Looks for Rawlings. Can he keep the ball alive? Smashed over the fence. Strong body pressure by Brown. And we've got a boundary throw in.
Under enormous pressure. I just wonder whether he could have tapped the ball on knowing the pressure was coming from Brown.
This is going to be one of the last rolls of the dice for the Bulldogs. They need to win a possession at half forward. It's tied up in the tackle.
There's still 2 minutes remaining, but the players will look up at the clock here at Manuka and see that it's almost 30 minutes gone. And they'll start to think, well, there's not much time left.
Only one quick kick forward. That's what they need, the Bulldogs.
Petrie. Eagleton pushed out of the contest, taken by Petrie, tumbles the ball forward. The race is on. McKernan in front of Grant. Worked off the ball, taken by Gilby. Goes short, and it's marked by Hahn.
Well, we've mentioned many times he's been brilliant. KB reckons he's got a heart the size of a cabbage, whatever that means.
Get it in the 50
Hahn
zone.
drives it long. Where's Rawlings?
Good kick.
Big pack over the back. Cooney knocks it forward. King first there for the Roos. He'll want the boundary, and he found it. Good experience there. Dean Lateline watching on. Nothing he can do now. 90 seconds remains.
Luke Darcy over the back of the pack here. Someone running onto it towards goal.
Plenty of players.
There it is.
Hahn couldn't get it. Brown, Sinclair. Some time to save now for the Roos. Simpson just kicks to space. Harris with Jones. Harris arrives. They go to ground.
Well done.
First up is Harris. Bangs it back forward. Not a good kick. Rawlings there. It beats them over the line. Gee.
It was a perfect ruck play by Luke Darcy. He had Mitchell Hahn and Eagleton running. They just didn't quite get it. It was well read by the Kangaroos as well, but it was great ruck work.
Geez, an improved player, Brian Harris, though. That was good body work. Not a bad kick, under pressure in the end.
They're going to milk it here. King
well, the
to
Bulldogs
Rawlings.
have got to pick up a player if that's the case.
They've got 60 seconds to force a turnover.
Man on man.
And when they do force the turnover, they have to kick a goal.
Well, you can't play on your man. You've got to be right on him. You
play on. High ball. No one there at all. Faulkner and Makepeace. Faulkner. There's the turnover. Just got, oh dear. Mitchell Hahn to the goal square. Oh, no, it's still alive. No, yes, no, yes. Johnson. Miraculous. It is over.
Can you believe it? The Bulldogs are in front. 32 points down. There's only a few seconds to go. And that man who struggled all day.
He struggled to kick it.
It was on the ground and the Bulldogs are in front. This could be one of the greatest wins in this club's history. It could